Okay, we are live.
Welcome to Session 3 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's GM.
Hi, Gigerman!
Don't be a dork. Please.
Too late.
Bookkeeping. Who has some?
I have a question, bookkeeping wise.
Hit
We
me.
discussed a journal, like a personal can-carry journal
Right.
that I would carry on with me. Now, I have a leather pouch that I was kind of thinking it would be like oil rubbed and possibly, I'm guessing people still use like pig bladder for waterproofing. Is that possible?
I believe that Low-Tech actually discusses waterproofing.
Okay. Then the leather pouch that I have, actually I'll probably keep two. One is just a pouch, or the leather, and then another smaller pouch that I keep the book in.
Right.
That way.
Compartmentalized.
Yep.
No, it's amusing. The paper cartridges they used in the India theater, they would coat it with tallow, I think, to waterproof it, and the Muslim Indians that were using them had to bite off the ends of it to use the paper cartridge, and they're biting pig fat.
Ha!
It's like they couldn't do that.
Sucks to suck.
And that is today's lesson from history from Daniel.
Today
can't-
in history.
We can't play the noise. We gotta have the more you know noise.
Dun, dun, dun.
That'll have to do. All right. Let me think here. Let's see. We don't need an enemy roll. Secrets. Phil rolled his already, and alas, but Claude / Claudia Lacroix is no longer a PC, so her secret isn't going to be a thing. Well, it may still be a thing.
We hand her a red shirt.
We have a red shirt.
Now we have another.
It is part of the uniform.
Okay, so in the book,
It also has brown
bookkeeping, in the bookkeeping category, I was going to give everybody one Benny for last week for me screwing it all up. Not that
We didn't
anybody
notice
actually
any screw it
registered
up.
the fact that I screwed it up, but I did.
It was a mess up.
You'll have to educate us. What messed up?
You're about to find out,
You're going to give us a peek behind the curtain.
because I'm going to have to backtrack and sort it all out.
Wow. Don't screw up then.
Yeah, generally that's a good way to conduct yourself, but it doesn't always work out. By the same token, I was going to give Mark another Benny for his antics with Monsieur Boissonade, which I really should have given him at the time, but I've had a hard time wrapping my head around that for some stupid reason. So, for the benefit of those watching, the bennies in this case are just a +1 to any die roll, before or after the roll. Nothing fancy. I have not decided what the best way to record those is, though, so for the moment you'll have to handle that yourself.
Currency. There's a currency thing on inventory. You can just say bennies and right at the bottom.
Yeah, well, you
What
only
I'm
have so
gonna do.
many. You only have so many slots in there.
Yeah, what am I going to need? Pence, crowns, shillings, guineas. Okay, that leaves me with two more.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of potential currencies that you can run across, but
I'm British.
you haven't run
Goodness.
across them yet.
Convert this
So
into crowns and shillings and guineas and pence.
There's the whole text box there as well.
yeah, I thought of that. But
Boring.
I like having some kind of visual representation of it if I can manage it.
Now I'm trying to figure out my loadout manager in GCA, and what I'm seeing on my character sheet is not matching.
Well, on that note, today's the last day of the grace period, so if your equipment isn't sorted out, then it will stay not sorted out.
Spend it all. I spend it all.
I spend the rest of my money on the stuff that I need but don't know I need.
Hey, what axe did you end up using for Divino's boarding axe gun?
Axe. Are you axing him a question?
Is it just the basic set, single?
Yeah, all I saw for axes was axe, and so I picked axe.
I think that matches the boarding axe that I have. I've added a crap ton more stuff to the items, and I put all the stupid non-name ID or whatever the hell it is. So they should actually identify properly now. So from now on, prices in GURPS will no longer be accurate. And on that vein, anybody who has GURPS listed on their sheet, we need to convert that.
I have 0 money. I spent it all.
That's easy to convert.
Yeah,
0
I don't
times
know
0
exactly.
conversion.
I need
Yeah, I
to
don't
convert
exactly know how many
45
I
money.
had spare, so I'm good with just taking 0 and saying what I have is what I have.
Do you not have any left over on the GCA sheet?
Haven't the foggiest.
I
Pretty
just had
sure I
it open a
don't,
minute
so.
ago.
Bad player. Bad player.
Let's see. Anybody else have actual leftover? Looks like
I got heaps.
I have 45.
Yeah, see that. So converting. Stand by.
I'm wigging out here. According to the sheet, I am 2 pounds over on the total weight carried, and I have calculated. I have no idea where those extra 2 pounds are coming from.
It looks like Divino's showing 1,901 GURPS left on the
Wow.
character sheet, at least.
That
Double
seems
click on
abnormally high.
that. To go in there, because I have noticed that GCA sometimes doesn't update it correctly, and you have to actually.
Right. Well, that's usually when you load. I just loaded that character, so it should be correct on there. Yeah,
Well,
we can,
I've seen
we
it
can deal with that
be
later.
stupid.
All right, so come back here. Where are you going? Let's see, 45 GURPS. That'll come to 9 shillings even.
Got it.
And the other one is Hayden, who has 516 GURPS listed.
Not for long.
Is that correct?
No, 316. I bought
316.
a month's worth of, 100 days of drugs.
All right, you have 63 shillings and an indeterminate number of pence. Let's call it 2 pence.
So what is the order of the monies in terms of highest to lowest?
I don't
you
know
know
how
that?
that sorts exactly, but it goes guineas, crowns, shillings, pence, as far as what's on the sheet. I figured out how to do the stupid currency stuff.
So pence are the lowest. Then it's pence, shillings, crowns, guineas. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's actually at least double that number of actual coins in circulation, but those are the ones you're going to encounter the most, I think.
Because we're British and we demand to be paid in British money.
I'm just talking about British money. Yeah, that's even more if you get into the foreign money.
We demand to be paid in normal British money.
And FYI, in case you weren't aware of it, pounds are not an actual coin. They are
Okay.
a unit of accounting.
Oh, interesting. Hey, Brian, I think I've found a minor bug of some kind in inventory.
That is?
I was putting items that are in my C trunk as location C trunk on my inventory sheet, and it moved them, like, tabbed over under the C trunk, but it also created an unidentified item for each one.
That's weird.
Yeah, so if you want to look
Well, I did
at what
update
those
the rule set this time.
what those unidentified items are, I don't know if it's duplicated or if that's something just blank or what.
Interesting. That would be coming from core, because that functionality is not something that we change in the GURPS rule set.
Daniel, can
So-
you look and see what one of those unidentified items is?
Yeah. Hold on, I was fighting this stupid browser.
Okay, it's easy
You
enough
are Rogers.
Yeah, it's easy enough to just delete them, but I'm curious.
Okay, you got a bunch of them, and what did I have to do? I had to do the thing. Okay. Actually, they're just new items.
Just blank. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, when you add an item, a new item, it will come up as an unidentified item until you sort of name it.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I tested the items that I created, and the last time I saw them, they were actually working properly. So I think that's not bugged as we encountered it before.
Did you see Mark's commentary there? You may have to
Evidently
leave
not.
So far, everything, well, she's on her way, but there's possible
Car woes.
Car woes, so hopefully she makes it.
Okay, so that is the money situation. I wanted to remind you about the paper cartridges. I did write up a bit on the boards, but I know everybody doesn't actually read that shit. So if you're using paper cartridges, that halves your loading times. So if you are only using paper cartridges, which is probably understandable, then you could just go into your gun stats and half the loading time that you have on there.
Is that common practice?
It is very common. It's almost ubiquitous in the military, at least.
Okay, I'll probably carry all my wall gun rounds as paper cartridges, except for the silver shot and then my Dragon pistol rounds.
Now, in your case, if you're going to create paper cartridges for whatever sorts of loads you're going to use in that thing. So, for instance, you might have some that are buck and ball and some that are just ball or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to specify that. Now, as far as carrying that stuff goes, there is a cartridge box item, and I've poked around online, and I've found some that hold 9 that are more like a little 1 pint bag, and others that go up to like 30. So I don't know what a standard load would be, but in Davino's case, it's going to get kind of heavy.
How much did you guys pay for your 56 caliber paper shot? Because I took a Dragoon pistol and a powder horn, but didn't see any cartridges available.
Oh, that's not a thing. That could be useful to actually add there.
It's something like 0.01 GURPS per shot.
Okay, I can work that back to shillings.
Well, you can look at your weapon stats, and there should be a cost per shot listed somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Cost and weight. If it's not in the Fantasy Ground stats, it's in low tech or wherever it came from.
The other came from low tech.
Yeah. The other thing about the paper cartridges, if you're using paper cartridges, you don't need to carry a powder horn.
Smart.
This is something that's probably going to only come up briefly, but if you recall, Daniel, Article actually doesn't carry any bullets.
Yes,
He's got
I
the
vaguely recall
pistol,
that.
but it's not loaded.
Yeah, Claude was doing the same thing. He had
Because
a
I have
pocket pistol.
Yeah, I have pacifism, reluctant killer, so he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to use this for like intimidation factor. And then eventually, one of the other PCs is going to find out and freak out at me.
All right, so that is basically all the bookkeeping that I have.
Is it alright if I just go ahead and pay for those cartridges?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sad news, everyone. I'm not going to be at -3 for regular surgery. I'm going to be back to -4 because I had to lose the good surgeon's tools to replace it with the big medical chest that ship's doctors have.
Okay, so I am not officially starting yet, but I'm actually starting the backtracking now. So
Cut to flashback.
we're flashing back. So for the record, I had added a company log to the spreadsheet and completely forgot that it was there. So now you know there is a company log on the sheet. And that's
I
a
was
good
about
way
to say
to
that
keep
makes
track of what
that
happened
makes
yesterday.
like 2 or 3 or 4 of us, all of us.
Yeah, well, I should have remembered. And Brian was just asking questions today about what happened when. Okay, so day 1, that was Monday, the 1st. On the 1st, you guys came back from Old Tom's and did your voyage planning on the ship that evening. So, for that, I wanted anybody who wants to make a area knowledge roll for Caribbean at -6, or if you have area knowledge by default of Kingston over the last 6 months, that's -7. And Payne can make a hidden lore unmodified.
What about current affairs, Caribbean?
That will not apply here.
You had me change my area knowledge Caribbean to area knowledge the Americas.
Woo!
did?
Look at there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be lucky.
Question: the area knowledge Kingston default. That's just going to be IQ.
Yes.
Gotcha. And that's -7.
Yes. I think the Americas would probably be -7. Well, that may still just be -6. Test
I
roll.
think
won't be
the
mad.
Success by 4.
All right. Did anybody succeed? Probably not.
Maybe.
just did.
Depends on if it was 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I will give you some of it then. Your knowledge of the Americas is a bit more broad, but
Yeah.
you can at least figure some of it. So, specifically about Île-à-Vache, you knew roughly where that was, and you also know that it's kind of hazardous around it. A lot of reefs and that sort of thing. Kind of hard to get into.
Zombies. Don't forget the zombies.
And the current, the ocean current there is relatively strong. It's not going to affect the sailing as much, but I know that trying to swim around that area is kind of difficult because of the current. Let's see. Okay, so that was that. So the logistics part. First
so Randall,
off,
Randall did succeed, because his was default hidden lore, right?
right, but he failed the first one.
I
Yeah,
lucked
but he
it.
lucked it.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Says so.
Well, I guess it's probably going to be an hour before you need it again, maybe.
Plus, he might be able to get his
If I'm
wife
lucky.
to call him out.
Okay, well, in that case, Randall knows that, A, Captain Morgan is rumored to have hidden treasures all over that damn island. Or, rather, there are rumors all over that island that Captain Morgan hid treasures there. And people have been trying to dig it up forever. Well, ever since he died, anyway. Also, you are aware that there is another rumor about the locals there dousing the lighthouses, so ships will crash and then they go out and loot it.
Jerks.
Yeah, I'll make this known to those like Île-à-Vache. It's a treasure hunter's paradise and peril. These guys, they turn off, the they like to
All right.
douse the lights.
White screen. It's loading. Still loading.
Better finish loading.
It's still loading, by the way.
I renamed the damn thing.
Still loading, by the way.
I renamed it. It shouldn't have a problem.
Well, since it's actually showing loading, it's doing something, as opposed to
Yeah, that's true.
a completely white screen. Wow, it's loaded. What was different? Hey, it has little
still waiting
stars
to see it
on
on the. Still waiting to see it on the stream. Yeah. So I
Marshals!
went ahead and marked all the larger, more important ports on there, so it's a little easier to identify what's going on there. Otherwise, everything's the same. Now, one thing to point out that is not the same is Randall knows that the treasury that he's looking for Morgan is in Campeche, which is over there.
Over where?
I have
Yucatan.
arrowed to it. So that is
man,
another
so
destination.
It's not in fat Florida?
It is not in Fat Florida. Brian, are you still loading?
That's interesting. I don't think I've seen the circles filled before.
It is still loading.
That is odd.
No, that would be because of the grid.
Would it? No, I think that's new.
No, it's on grids, square grids. The circles actually fill.
Oh, okay, because it's okay.
Wow,
That's why,
it
'cause
is
we never use
still
square grids.
loading for you, Brian. What's up with that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have so much fun with these circles now.
Must just be a big
Great.
file. It took a long time to load for me too.
Well, it is kind of large.
And he's
So
got
I
to go to
saw-
the other side of the world.
Yeah,
And he's
the
over
upside
there.
down. Yeah, so I discovered. I linked that page that I found, Daniel. I totally know what you're talking about with the. There's plenty other words like, yeah. Do we have a half groat? Maybe a 3-penny bit or a 6-pence or. Like,
Some of those aren't currently in circulation.
I know, but it's still they probably still exist. It's
No,
just they're not really in circulation.
Well, it depends on whether they're older or newer. But
Hey, we're going for old treasure.
I've got a list of the actual coinage that is actually in use.
It's also common
Stinking
to cut coins.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
there's that.
Yep, there was that. What is it? That was reference. Where was that? Yeah, foreign is. No, wait, that's not the one. Yeah, there was one where it's like, yeah, this is a half penny, so that's half of a penny.
Yeah, I've got the conversion on the spreadsheet. I seriously doubt you guys are going to use it a lot, but it's there just in case.
I'm going to avoid it if possible.
I expect you will.
Crap.
That's
You
weird that
have
it's still
OCD,
loading.
Daniel.
It's been said.
5 guinea, 2 guinea, guinea, half guinea, quarter guinea, pound, crown, half crown, shilling, 6-pence, penny, half penny, farthing. I thought half penny and farthings
Gong.
are the same thing.
Nope. A half penny is 2 farthings.
Oh, no, it's the weight. Yeah, because on that thing is like a farthing is 20 millimeters diameter, weight 2.8 grams. A half penny is 25 millimeter, 5.7 grams.
Stop.
Finally
I know,
loaded.
right?
There. About damn time, jeez.
Frickin' limeys, man.
Okay, so I will mark for everyone else's benefit the Campeche location again. Unless Mark wants to put his big circle there. Now, 2 things about that are important here, or, well, important is kind of the wrong word, but one, that's another location that you will eventually go to. So that's a potential other arrow on the voyage prediction. The other thing is apparently Mark's ancestors.
It's not just Mark.
Mark's
never mind.
ancestors in the area pronounce it Campiki or something like that, and I have not been able to find a single reference to that.
Whatever it is.
But if you actually look down there at the writing on this is an English-made map, and they've spelled it Campechy, so it's clear that they pronounced it Campeche.
It's all good.
It's downright
So-
peachy.
You see what you did there.
Let's see what else. Okay, so that is that.
I'm still not seeing where
Navigation
you
roll.
screwed up.
You're
We
getting
started
there.
a plan to go further, and it sounds like we had a pretty good idea that we would have to backtrack no matter what.
Well, yeah, then that will work. It's like continue on our our previous route that we were going to do. Maybe.
The navigation roll for the planning is one thing that we didn't do last time. I completely forgot about. So,
why would you do that before you set sail?
This is the planning part. So, navigation roll. I don't remember who has the better score in that.
I suspect it's Hayden with his 17.
It's probably Hayden. Let's see. So I think what I ended up with was.
Let's see. He made it by 7, so you need to say minus 8.
Damn it! I'm not looking. I didn't want you to roll it yet. Still dealing with the penalties and whatnot.
You'll have to math.
Math is hard and evil.
I'm just trying to find it in my damn notes. I didn't. Okay. I think the only mod was going to end up being a -1 for distance. So that means you succeeded by 6 in that case, so make a note of that. The next one is the preparation roll.
Yeah, and you said that was like -7 or something like that.
Well, that was a different part. Okay,
never
so
mind.
the other stuff we have, got navigation, which you just did. Other roles for other characters to do. Got administration for allocating supplies and funds and that sort of thing. Engineering to prep the vessel for the trip. Freight handling to make sure everything's loaded properly. Yeah, that's what I have in there anyway. Leadership role to organize the whole effort. Weather sense role to predict weather conditions, that sort of thing. And this is also kind of like a skill challenge in that if you have a skill that you think you could use there that would work, then we can add that. So
is the last day of the grace period, or is the grace period over now?
This is the third one, so I'm thinking this is the last
good.
day.
Excellent, because I didn't take weather sense, and that's kind of dumb for
I
us.
thought you did.
No.
I was expecting you to roll that. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I should have it.
It's got it now.
Exactly.
Okay, so going down the list, Hayden's already rolled it, so, and apparently Roger's just sorting something out. We'll start from the other end. Davino, what do you want to roll? If I had a recommendation in your case, I'd probably say freight handling. I think that's your thing.
Actually, on this build, my freight handling is pretty low. I have a better seamanship.
That would probably do at a default.
Okay, if that would do it at default, but freight handling would be better, then I will do freight. Unless that happens.
Okay, so that is a -3. Oh, on the navigation roll for Hayden, I'm presuming you didn't take any gear into account for that either.
I took nothing into account.
Yeah, so
He just randomly started rolling.
because people do that. I know that Rogers has some good navigation equipment. I don't know if he's willing to share that, though.
More than likely, it would have been a team effort.
Well, that's up to the team.
Yeah, I'll
You guys gonna work together on that?
navigation with him. Yeah, it's not so much working together as two sets of eyes are better than one for spotting a mistake.
And it might also make a lot of sense for Hayden to be basically grooming Rogers to take over as the next master when he passes, since Hayden does, hey, I have a terminal illness.
All right, so in that case, you can make an assist roll, I guess, and I guess you can add your gear bonuses to that.
Okay, how much bonus was my gear?
I don't recall. What actually do you have on there? So you actually bought those things separately. And apparently you have 2 chronometers on there.
Yes, that is correct.
Why do you have 2 chronometers? Okay.
To run them against each other and for redundancy.
I think the compass gets you a +1, and those are actually high quality, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see here. Equipment for any navigation equipment. DO16, 17. Right. Damn it. Changed all my stuff over here. Hold on.
And if we want to make it a standard operating procedure that we do the plotting together, then you can take the bonus for using my instruments, because we'll be using them together.
Okay, navigate. Yeah, that just has navigation. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I think you're just going to end up with a +1 or +2, and
Okay,
we'll figure that out later. How much did you spend on all that stuff?
I think it was 600, 500. I don't remember exactly now.
I know there was a point where I had identified an actual package that you could have gotten.
Oh, that's right. The package was 1,000.
I think it was 500. Okay, I got navigating instruments on here. Oh, that one's 3,000. Yeah, not that.
Yeah, and I paid extra for the extra chronometer, and it was like double to improve the quality or something like that.
Well,
That's how I got to 1,000.
We'll consider it a +2 for now and call it good. So you can do your assist roll to him.
Not bad.
Wow. Okay, so that's a +2 to him.
So +9 by 9.
He had 9 minus 1 was 8.
No, it was he was
the instruments
by
too.
7. Oh, yeah, it's by 7. So that's
He had
gonna be by 8 then.
Yes.
Because you said -1 for distance.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. That was you. So we need Article and Randall.
I'm guessing you don't want me to use hypnosis human?
No, I don't see how that would help.
I think I may have the highest administration skill. I have a 13. I don't know if anybody has anything higher than that.
Nope.
No.
Very well.
All right, so I guess I'll try the administration thing.
All right.
I tried to fail.
That.
And
But I failed to
will
fail.
cheer up the crew.
I didn't approve that.
Do you have public speaking, Mark?
I cheered up the crew.
He decided to ask for
I did
forgiveness
it.
instead of permission.
See? I
What do you have on your sheet here? You got to have something worthwhile here.
He says that.
Can he
and
tumble?
looks.
Hey, you have leadership. You don't have a lot of it, but you got some. And technically, with leadership, you can add your status to that in this particular case.
For king and country. No,
King
wait.
and country.
We're not for king and country. You're more for fame and
Fortune
glory.
and glory.
Yeah, that really is it for you.
That's sad, Mark. You need to work on that.
King and country?
Delegate.
Ah!
There you go.
Booyah. Nice roll.
All right, he contributed.
I'm helping.
All right, so let's that's everybody, so let's total that up. So we got 8 for Hayden
0
plus
for me.
Rogers, -3 for Palange, 0 plus 8, 13?
13, yeah.
All right, what does that get you?
Bag of chips.
Oh, for the record, for the future, you can also do time spent on that. And after this point, if we do we'll end up having to do this again at some point, but we have the ability to take the average or maximum on this, so you don't have to actually roll it out every time. But for the first time, we're going to.
My guy's like, do the thing and do the other thing.
Like developing an SOP.
Okay, so that 13 is going to get us 5 points. 5 planning plot points for the journey.
Okay.
So I'm making a note here.
You may want to update the combat tracker with the correct Divino. We still have the imposter there.
Maybe I don't want to.
We drowned the imposter.
All right, so
Keelhaul him.
for the record, the way that's going to work is specific to things like, oh, we run out of supplies or something like that. You can use these planning plot points to. You could do rerolls with it, or you can do the gizmo or whatever. that's
okay.
available. But these are aspected specifically to stuff that you planned for the voyage.
Seems fair.
I think I had one other thing that you could do with that's useful for. So the additional thing that's aside from my normal plot point usages is you can spend one to give a +1 prep bonus to all uses of one specified skill by all crewmen throughout the trip. So, for example, if you wanted to spend one and give everybody a +1 in seamanship for the whole time.
Huh.
So, got 5 of those. That's how well you guys are prepared and planned everything out.
Great.
All right, what's next? Okay, so I wanted to also do the same thing for everybody's personal preparations, specifically in case somebody forgot to buy a thing before they left. But I'm not entirely sure what skill to use for that. So I'll let you decide, but I think seamanship would probably work.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Because being prepared to go to sea is seamanship.
So Article will get 1.
Ooh.
Man.
Roger. Damn, Roger's got 3.
I was expecting Mark to goof off and throw carousing on there again.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Like
Maybe.
what? I had to make sure we brought the hookers.
And blow.
And all the crew are like, they're nodding like, yeah, he's right.
Okay, so Hayden is going to have 4, 5.
Mr. Payne, stow those hookers, please.
This is
Turn
a
off
ship
the
of His
ship's
Majesty's
women.
Navy, not a floating bordello.
Although,
Saying that out loud, though.
doesn't sound that bad.
So Randall gets 2. And Davino.
Mobile brothel. The brothel comes to you.
1. All right, so as noted, you guys have personal planning plot points. So that means, oh, I forgot to buy enough ammo. I can use one of those and cover that.
Are you going to add that to your logistics note?
I have. Do I need to reshare that? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Now we can see it.
I'll probably reformat it a little better. All right, so we'll consider that done. Pay stuff. So I was going to ask whether or not you guys wanted to pay all the maintenance up front or pay part of the maintenance up front and just say, we bought all these spare parts for this much. Or if you just rather let that go on a monthly basis, never minding the fact that you're not actually paying that out on a monthly basis. The reason for doing that is the bankroll that you currently have remaining would be affected by that. So if you don't pay it up front, your amount won't be accurate. Speaking of which, currently I have you at 293 pounds, 12 shillings. Oh wait, 2 shillings.
Where are we going to record that?
That is on the spreadsheet.
I don't care about the spreadsheet. I'm thinking on this.
Well, that's another
We
matter.
need to create a new character called the ship.
I thought about doing that,
There is
actually.
a party sheet, and it does have
I didn't think
corns.
about that. Yeah,
And
that's-
speaking of that, I was gonna just say the parcel items on the party sheet, we'll just call that the ship's hold or whatever. So as it happens, I went ahead and threw a strong box in there for the keeping of the 293 pounds and 2 shillings.
293 pounds and 2 shillings. I can't type in there, so that's a GM only.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess we could do it that way. We'll just go ahead and put pounds in there for ease of use. We might divide that up later. 293 and 2. Done. Alright, so that's there for reference. The reason you only have 2 shillings in there right now is because the rest of that went for the provisions. You have 1 ton of provisions, which should last you roughly 2 weeks, as discussed. Right, so maintenance. You want to pay that out first or last?
If we don't keep up the maintenance on the ship, does it lose health?
Yeah, if you don't actually have the spare parts already on the ship, you can't potentially fix something that requires spare parts. And there will be breakdowns, because this is a ship, and that's what they do.
Then it would make sense to pay it up front.
Well, the question is whether or not to abstract that out and just let it go monthly or pay it up front.
Well, if we're going to abstract it out, I think we pay it every month, because then if we get tight on money, we might not be so careful with our maintenance, and maintenance might slip and the ship breaks down more often.
Well, I'm sure.
And then interesting stuff happens. We get to make rolls to fix it.
I mean, this has the same result, but I'm sure we do the manual maintenance that's necessary no matter what. The cost represents the supplies it takes to do that and how well you're able to do it. We ain't going to slack off, but we may not have enough tar or rope or tarp.
The one thing that I couldn't quite figure out is what amount of space that gear takes up, because it's not invisible.
Probably a ton or two, but it's probably built into, the operation of the ship.
No, it's not built into anything.
Oh, okay. Because I imagine we'll have sailcloth, rope, planks, nails.
Yeah,
tar.
Right now you've got 48 tons remaining.
Yeah, so this stuff's got to be at least a ton. Maybe not more than that. I don't know.
And you've only got 1 ton of food on there, so I don't think you're going to be hurting for space anytime soon. But so we'll hand wave it. We can deal with that later.
Cool.
Next thing. Okay, so we'll get to that other part in a minute. That is basically day 1. So you guys dealt with your planning on the evening of day 1, the first, and you executed throughout the rest the next couple of days, and that's when those rolls will have taken place. Day 2, Tuesday the 2nd. That day is when you did the dive for the coin, and you found it, very luckily. That is also the day when Hayden and Artigal assembled the crew and started working on the freight passengers and making the other arrangements. So, once you gathered everybody up and brought them over to the ship to sign the articles, Henry, wait a minute. I gotta bring up the thing. Too many things going on at once. Okay. Henry, when he comes aboard, he basically doesn't have anything. He's just got what's in his pockets. Red, when he comes aboard, he's got a sack, standard sailor bag, looks like, and a little bit afterward he complains because he apparently, in the course of clambering aboard and stumbling a bit, he managed to break a mirror that he had in there.
We pitch him over the side. Can't have that kind of luck following us.
Ollie brings a similar bag with him and a hurdy-gurdy. Do I need to explain that to anyone?
Nope.
A hurdy-gurdy is an instrument.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna gush over his instrument.
You may want to reword that, laddie.
Play with his instrument?
No, I've just never seen a hurdy-gurdy.
Not even at sea yet.
Also,
You could handle it.
Ollie's a Scot, and he didn't bring bagpipes, which means he's not as stereotypical as you might expect.
That's disappointing, actually. I was hoping to hear bagpipes.
Rob brings a very weathered sea chest with him. And after signing the articles, he pulls out a horseshoe from it and nails it to the main mast fife rail and tells everybody to touch it after signing on.
I'm going to have to ask him to explain this.
Good luck.
I just nod in approval.
Good luck for the voyage, sir.
Ah, superstition. Gotcha.
I'm all down for some luck. Boom.
It's not superstition. It's just a little stition.
That's true. Tom comes aboard with a small sea chest. Nothing fancy, unpainted. No carvings or anything like that on.
Oh, that's disappointing. Should be like pentagrams and stuff.
Well, yeah, you might think that.
I mean, he looks like a fellow I knew named Constantine.
Isaac comes aboard and he brings, along with
But you said he had nothing.
Isaac. Next guy.
Okay.
He brings a case of what, after being asked, he will reveal is a case of bottled spiced rum for trade, along with a sea chest of some size.
So who is the one that came aboard with absolutely nothing?
That was Tom. Or Henry, excuse me.
Ah, the spider monkey.
The kid. So after that, everybody will file over to whatever desk table is presented and make their mark on the
I have
ship's
a
articles.
small little tack so they can prick their fingers too. I want blood.
What?
Are you
I'm
serious?
joking.
I mean,
He is
didn't
not
sound
serious.
We're about to pitch you over the side.
As they make their marks on the articles, they are also getting paid, because you guys said they were getting upfront, and that was my best guess for the amount there would be 1 month. So they're all getting 14 crowns apiece.
So we should be getting paid too, right?
You're not getting paid.
Well, bollocks.
You have company funds to dip into if you got to buy something
I
like
can't
that.
do that.
Well, then don't. So yeah, everybody's happy about that.
Does anyone refuse to touch the horseshoe?
Let's see. Not that you're aware of.
Good. Well, I'm actively watching to make sure everyone does.
If they don't touch the horseshoe, you bring them to the horseshoe.
You probably do need to end up reminding Article because he's absent-minded, so he gets distracted by something shiny and doesn't do that. And you're like, horseshoe. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'll politely point out that he's neglected the horseshoe.
Also, considering the pay, so basically that 293 pounds that you have is in that strong box, and I wanted to make a point of figuring out where that's going to be.
Under
Because that could be
Davino's
important.
bunk. You got to
Just
get through
something to think
Davino to
about.
get to the money.
Yeah, I can take that on.
Would it
And more
not be in
importantly,
I don't know
landlord's
go through
quarters?
Davino's. You have to go through.
Oh,
Boone's
or
to
that,
get
I
the
guess.
money.
I don't know. I don't know what the norm is.
You can put his pillow, or make that his pillow.
Nobody's going to want to fight the monkey for the money.
Exactly. No one wants to fight the monkey.
And if the monkey starts stealing junk, he steals it and probably brings it back to.
Puts it back in the chest.
It's like, this is awesome. We have more money.
Also,
how did that
like,
happen?
all the money that we paid the crewmen starts making its way back into the box.
A crown or two
No,
here or
it's-
there just appears.
No, you find it all in the bilges.
So keep
at
that
some
locked.
point, I wanted to establish, for this specifically for Ethan, I wanted to establish where Boom's perch is going to be on the ship.
Would I have
where
my
he's
own
gonna
cabin,
hang out.
or would I be in like the standard?
Okay,
berthing?
well, we were going to have the discussion about cabins in a bit
What
later,
cabin?
but
Well, because if I have my own cabin, I imagine I probably set up like a tiny little hammock for him in one of the corners of my room, upper corners. But
the
if I
fact
have
that
my
you're
own-
the fact that you're referring to it as cabins tells me you don't know what you're dealing with here. Okay, see the little hole to the right there? Those are
Yeah.
bunks.
Okay, it's like, so would I be in one of those, or
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that depending. Now, I think at the other end.
The
I don't know
captain
what
actually
the
gets a cabin.
status is of who gets an actual room and who doesn't.
So at the other end, you've got where I would expect the quote unquote officers to be sleeping. They've got slightly more normal looking bunks on that end. I think there are a couple more of those cubbies in the back in the gallery alongside those. But there's, I think, 6 of them up front. I'm not exactly sure, but it's on the map. Anyway, where you get to sleep is a matter of what you manage to negotiate. But having said all that, unless you are back in the gallery on one of those open beds, you're not going to have anywhere to put him in that way.
Sleep
So
at
something to
feet.
think about.
Is he trained to poop over the side?
Yeah,
Or
I
use the head?
imagine that he probably would have after a while being together. Is like, no, you
Okay.
can't poop in the stock pot.
He's
So
Boom is an experienced sailor. He's got more experience than some of the people you hired.
Ah, good.
Or the doctor.
And some kind of arrangement will have been made. So all those cubbies that were up front are over there, and then the gallery back here for reference purposes.
well, all you people with fancier titles than I do. What room would I get? Where would I be?
Well, we don't have to answer that now, but now you've been acclimated. You know what
It's a
you're
very
in for.
small ship.
And I don't need to know where Boom is going to hang out right now specifically, but something to think about.
Yeah, I
You might
imagine I
make a
try to
note
keep
of it
him
if you
somewhere
come up with
at least
something.
relatively close to wherever I'd be.
Well,
Actually, no.
if Article has a cabin, he will totally set up a little mini hammock just for the monkey as well. So the monkey can I'm tired of Davino right now. I'm gonna go sneak in there and sleep in my other hammock.
Psh, get tired of me. What you talking about?
Just saying.
All right. So during the sign in and the touching of the horseshoe and all that, let me hold on. I got to do one thing first. Oh, okay. As Rogers was the one paying attention to who touched the horseshoe or not, he will have noted very clearly that Red seems to have missed it.
I'll go have a word with him and say, let's not shirk tradition.
I touched it, didn't I?
Let's give it another one just for the sake of luck.
All
And
right.
I'll touch it again too, just to so that he doesn't think that I'm trying to get him to do something weird.
Man,
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't negate whatever luck you'd
I
roll.
rolled your
Of course not.
perception. I rolled your perception. You rolled a 4,
Nice.
so I couldn't let that go. So there, as you guys are getting all sorted up there on day 2, there's a bit of chatter back and forth about the Nijmegen, because there have been rumors around town apparently that one rumor is that they hate English and they won't let English aboard their ship, and another rumor running around that they've got some slave girl chained up in the hold and they don't want anybody to see it or something like that. Another one that they're smuggling sugar or whatever.
It's not a slave girl. It's a mermaid.
What?
Who knows?
Mermaid?
It could be a monster.
She's only a monster during the day.
All right, so the whole searching for freight and passengers, I already discussed this with Phil, but that
I gotta
came down.
know. I gotta know
What?
what's on that ship.
God help us. This is the day before
Oh.
Hayden
wasted.
goes and talks to the captain. So, freight and passengers thing. So there are penalties on that roll for the distance involved and for the size of the settlement. That it wasn't specific about whether it's a settlement you're going to or this settlement you're coming from. I figured the lower of the two. So all told, it was a -9 to those rolls. and chances are pretty good you were not gonna actually succeed on that.
No, because that would have been, I would have had -9. That would have been a 6, fail by 6 on the top one.
Yeah, so
What the heck is
for
that?
the record, for the future, you can do time spent on that, so you can actually spend more time searching. You can also get help from other people and that
What
sort of thing.
language
So
did
there are
you
ways
use,
to.
Trevino?
English. Sorry, I didn't. There, let me clear it. There we go.
No, you had a language set probably when you typed something.
Yeah, it was English.
Why did it come out so weird?
Because is it English?
Because he
Does it
actually
say
selected English.
Oh.
Yeah. I
Oh, but
accidentally
it's
had
English.
as
It
a pick.
doesn't say English native.
Yeah,
I don't have
remember
English
those have to match exactly for it to
Yeah,
work.
I don't have English. I have King's English, damn it.
Which is why it won't have shown up for you. So being clever doesn't help here. And you can look at the drop down to see how exactly those are spelled. Alright, so yeah, so in the future, if you really want to find some freight or passengers, you can bump up your numbers that way. FYI. Also on day 2, I don't remember what Payne was doing. Well, that would have been after the dive, so I
Day
don't
2,
remember.
we
Anyway,
were looking for
Payne was with me.
merchant.
Yeah,
stuff.
he
No,
was
that
with
was-
me. Yeah, he was with me, attempting to seek out the cargo and or passengers because he was using carousing in an attempt
Right.
to improve it.
that was on day 3 when he was doing the schmoozing with the merchants and whatnot. This was a 2-day process. The first day is finding everybody and making the arrangements. The second day they actually meet up and all that. But in this case, he may still have been following you around or something. This is when he ran into that reporter, is what I was going to say.
All right, I forgot the reporter and the recap.
And after that, in the evening, you guys actually cleared out all your boarding houses and that sort of thing, got paid off, and slept aboard the ship. Day 3, Wednesday, the 3rd. So on day 3 is when the provisions were actually loaded. And for the life of me, I have had such trouble trying to figure out how long does that take. But as far as I can tell at this point, it actually took less than an hour. And that includes having to load the cockboat, row it out to the ship, and load it there. Unless you brought the ship in. Whatever. Day 3 is also when the schmoozing of the merchants happened, and then we dealt with all the penalties and stuff on that. During day 3, in your wanderings about town, Hayden and Payne kind of got the impression they spotted somebody watching who would disappear or whatever whenever they started to make a move or something. So, and there were incidents during the day when you go talk to this or that guy and he'd say, hey, this guy over here came asking for you. I don't know who he was. Day 3 is also when Davino talked to Jacob before he left. And Wednesday is when the weekly Jamaica Courant is published. So the newspaper came out that day. It didn't say anything particularly revealing about Billy's death, but it did at least mention it in the obits.
Dude.
So also on day 3, during the day's operations, Mr. Mogridge had overheard the talk about destinations and whatnot, and he asks the captain and whoever else is available at the time about Île-à-Vache, and says, "Are we gonna pick up pay a pilot or get some charts for that or something?" Said, "I've not been there myself, but I hear those waters are as treacherous as me ex-wife, God rest her."
Probably a really good idea, especially knowing that the locals tend to be rather nefarious, and
what we know that too, or we have learned that through our own knowledge.
I have no idea mechanically how it would go that you would find charts that you could buy.
Probably either rumor, talk to people who've been there and see
Aside
what they
from
have.
that. Now you can talk to people who've been there and get some directions. You can also hire somebody that has been there to be a pilot and can steer you around the hazards. But you have a problem in that regard, in that you are not coming back here directly.
We don't have to tell
It'd be ideal.
them. Yeah, but you just said ideal. It doesn't mean it has to be, right?
So, are you going to look for any of that?
It is in our best interest, I would assume.
I would
Knowing what
probably
we
agree
do
with that.
know.
So, if you're just looking for a guy who knows, then
Well,
I believe...
what we might try and do it as we want to hit up and probably talk around town and see what name comes up more than once, instead of just like, oh, I know a guy and it's a guy and he's like passed by there.
Well, it sounds like Randall wants to handle some of this. Of course, this is the same day he's going to be drinking with merchants and stuff, so he's already around town doing that anyway.
This is the day that he failed his. This is the second day. So that's the day he failed his carousing check
Can I use luck
Did he
now?
fail it?
by 2.
Can I use luck for that roll?
For the roll that you made the last session?
Sure.
No.
It's been more than an hour.
Yes, that is true. No, I was going to say you can make what I'll do here is I'll call it a seamanship, but this is an influence roll effectively, so you could potentially leverage your status, for example, or whatever other social engineering bonuses you may have. I don't recall right off the top of my head.
I'm pretty darn good looking.
Pain. Well, you are attractive, and I think that still counts towards men and women both.
It
It
does.
just counts double towards anyone who would be attracted to him.
I think that's only for the higher levels.
I thought it was on all. I'll take your word for it.
My understanding was it's all.
Yeah, I don't see anything else on there that would probably work for
You're
that.
saying that's
So
a seamanship roll?
yeah, so you could get a +1 for your, or +2 for your status, +1 for the attractive if you want to use that. So
Heck yeah.
you were able to locate more information about Île-à-Vache, and I would say you've got some okay charts, at least a drawing, if nothing else, pointing out some of the hazards. So
Don't go here.
it'll be an improvement.
Cool.
So we will consider you guys knowledgeable on the area. And let's see, that was that, and that was basically Wednesday. So if anybody was going to buy anything for the trip that you hadn't already done so, that would have been the day to do it.
Well, I'm inspired by Isaac's entrepreneurship, and I'm going to find out how much that rum is.
Well, he can certainly fill you in on that and tell you where he got it.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
I can't tell you that myself, though.
Ah, okay.
How
I
much
only
money
have
did you
8
have?
shillings.
Let me consult a thing that is on my notes, and I will find it in a second. Gun stuff. There we go. Buy power. Oh, not that one. The other one. Let me see what you can get for 8 shillings.
Cool.
Okay. 4, 5 to 8 shillings. You can get a bottle of champagne for 8 shillings. A pound of tea.
You might need that bottle to
Ooh,
smash on
actually,
the front. Good
you know
luck,
what?
Rich.
I'm gonna get the pound of tea for myself.
Okay. That's a 7.5 shillings specifically. Oh, wait, no, that's 7 shillings, 6 pence. Yeah, 7.5 shillings.
Okay. Got it.
All right, so you can use it for yourself, or you can sell it, or whatever. Anybody else?
How much does a
Probably
violin cost?
I don't know.
Are we... Sorry, AFK.
I could find out eventually if you actually had any money.
Yeah, that's something that he's definitely going to be looking at for down the road.
All right. Well, other than the purchasing like that, that'll be the end of day 3. And in the wee hours of the morning before the sun rises,
I went swimming.
saboteurs will arrive and attempt to set the ship afire. And I think that would make a decent spot for a 5-minute break, seeing as Mark has already run off anyway.
Roger 5.
Intermission.
All right, we're back.
Okay, well now the for real start. Harbor log. Thursday, January 4, 1725, Kingston, Jamaica. Having just captured some attempted saboteurs of the ship, the expedition is now deciding whether or not to go ashore and find out what the hell happened. So, point of order before we get that going. As it turns out, I did some digging into the whole leaving with the tide situation, and you really don't have to worry about that because the Graceful Dame is a very small ship and does not draw very much, so you don't have to. You can stick to the deep parts of the bay and not have to worry about getting stuck for the most part. And as it happens, the wind is actually blowing out in the north for most of the day, at least right now. And you could leave as soon as the sun comes up or before.
That's not a terrible idea. Say F
So
you
I wanted
guys.
to bring that up in case that changes anyone's mind about where to proceed. Now, at the moment, you are aboard the ship. You have captured 2 of the saboteurs. I think you got
Just
the
the
other
one.
guy too. Just the one?
As far as I know.
And he said he could point you to the guy. And you also are aware that there was an attack on the La Dame Blanche. And I want to do this thing. Actually, I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted to do a different thing first. Okay, that thing. So I'm figuring the green pen is where you are anchored, and the orange pen is where the La Dame Blanche is anchored. Just for reference purposes, I don't like the way the grid works here. You can't actually get increments of less than a mile without actually making the grid increments less than a mile. But anyway, it's less than a mile. It's probably a quarter mile at most.
So what do y'all think? Should we go in and try to find the dude, or just say F you guys and sail out of here?
Well,
Might as well try to find it.
yeah, we're not supposedly leaving until, what, noonish tomorrow?
Well,
so we have
no,
a little
that's
bit of time.
today.
We can leave anytime.
That's today, and that was my point, was you don't have to wait until noon to leave.
Yeah, we were waiting until then because of the tides, but the tides are not an issue for us.
Gotcha. So, what do we gain other than we know somebody was trying to do us dirty?
Curiosity.
Yeah. Well, the gain would be to find out who is trying to burn our ship to the waterline and make them stop.
Some
Right.
of you
So
are-
we're not going
Burn
to be
his
here.
enemy's ship
in-
to the water
yeah.
line.
True, but we're not going to be here very much longer for them to give them a second opportunity. I mean, I'm all for turning this guy in to the authorities for sure.
Well, now we had discussed that before. You could probably hand him over to the Night Watch, but they may or may not be able to actually do anything about it. And if you're not going to prosecute, if you're not going to be here to prosecute.
Whereas the guy whose ship is now actively on fire will probably be here because his ship is on fire.
Which
Well, now,
delays him getting...
nobody's ship was actually on fire at this point.
It was the water
It just
around
almost
it, I
was.
Oh, it was just burning in the water?
Yeah.
It looked like they
Ah.
It looked like they shot the guy's keg before they got on board.
Okay, I missed that last
Which is what Isaac was going to do on ours until I
Absolutely.
stupidly went into the water.
Okay, I'm good with either way then.
I know some of you have impulsive, so you may actually be moving already one way or the other. Of course, Randall is apparently able to suppress his curiosity.
I'm more akin to, who knows? Maybe we get lucky and Maurice and his crew spend the extra time to investigate this and delays them, or we can make a play of it like we're going to. Well, no, he might do the same.
Oh yeah. What is he gonna do? Are you gonna attempt to see what he's gonna do?
How would that work?
Well, it's a full moon, and he's maybe a quarter mile away. He's not that far.
We play the hey,
breaking out the
oh yeah,
the
we
thing.
got the scope.
So it is still dark, but it is a full moon, so it's not that dark.
Here
You
you
can-
get his attention. You can brandish the fellow we captured and go, hey, they came for us too. We got ours.
It's a little too far to yell at him, but you might be able to. Yeah,
Damn,
they'd have
does
to be
anybody have
looking.
penetrating voice?
That would have been something. Should get James Earl Jones on the ship so he can boom that voice out there when you need it. Or Dennis Haysbert.
Well, let's see what they're doing. Are they looking like? I mean, the other thing is obviously whoever doesn't want us leaving either. So that could be something that spurs us to leave faster, maybe.
Yeah.
If they tried it once, they might try it again.
Well, I tell you what. Since you are talking about it, you can give me a perception check. And I guess you could, okay. You got a spyglass, so you can add the bonus for the telescopic vision, but a penalty for the light level, which I think is minus
never mind.
5.
I'm going to roll. I don't know what the I don't know what the bonus is for the thing.
I think
I'll roll
it's
the minus 5.
4x, so I think that's going to be a +2.
So that would be a failure by 2.
Yeah, you can't quite make out what they're doing over there. There's activity. You can see stuff going on, but at this moment, it's kind of hard to tell what they're doing. At least you don't see boats being rowed away from it.
Darn it.
So what do we do with the guy we nabbed?
Excellent question.
We've already interrogated him the best we can. Somebody hired him to blow up our ship or set our ship on fire. Personally, I'm more like they're obviously trying to stop us from leaving. Staying around gives them a second opportunity to do it. On the flip side, what do we do with the guy? And how do we know? Do we want to notify the authorities? At least give them a heads up that somebody's out there trying to burn ships leaving the port. Probably that. I mean, the best we could do is give them over to the authorities, tell them what's up. Point them to. Oh, well, no, I guess we can't really. Oh, you know what? Here's an idea. Go to the authorities, turn them in, and say, "Hey, we noticed that the La Dame Blanche may need some assistance. You might need to send a team over there to find out what happened to them." And then we row back to our boat.
I see what you're doing there.
Boogaloo on out.
That sounds like an amusing plan to me. I mean, I don't have the raw hatred toward this French guy that he does. I just think that's funny.
You're also
Oh, it's not hatred, because hatred would be like, I want to fight you. Well, I do want to fight him, but not like in a, that way.
it's your ship, so you could also make this guy just walk the plank.
Well, he can swim.
And it's not that far.
It's pretty
I
hard
say
to
let's-
swim
let's-
with a cannonball
have to-
tied to
That's
his feet.
true. That's a
But not
perfectly good waste
impossible.
of a. That's a perfectly
And-
good waste of a
And
cannonball.
to be fair,
Perfect
the
waste of a
cannon,
good cannonball.
the cannon that are aboard this ship are 2-pounders, so those really aren't that impressive.
So it's only. So I think I personally like the idea of going in and turning this guy in. At least that gives them a heads up, but also might give us a chance to delay Maurice getting ahead of us.
All right, let's take a vote. Down the line. Rogers,
Don't care.
Payne,
I
turn 'em
vote.
in.
Yep, turn him in and orchestrate a delaying tactic.
Hayden,
Hayden, since Payne is the captain, Hayden will back the captain's decision.
well, technically you're the captain, but whatever. Spencer,
He's gonna by default side with Payne because Payne's his friend.
yeah, that's true. Palange,
Randall's fun plot.
all right. Taking him ashore then.
That's like, when did we decide that? We just decided that article. Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
All right. Well, you guys will dump his ass in the boat. Who's going ashore?
But Hayden will inform Randall. He'll say, Mr. Payne, the dame, she has a very shallow draw, so we can leave harbour at any time you wish, though I advise we do it in the light, just to avoid any obstacles in the dark.
Understood.
I think Article is probably not going to be going ashore because he just dove into the water, so he's probably in the process of trying to get warm and
Dry out.
change into different clothes and stuff like that.
So
Rogers will go.
Cool.
We'll volunteer.
And I'll take one of the crewmen just to keep this guy.
Take Davino too, because
Yeah.
Davino is really big and he can punch somebody.
Well,
and
then
that'll hurt.
If Hayden has need of Davino or Rogers to continue the, well, this was evening, so
Yeah, you weren't doing anything.
to even have the hopefully have the ship ready to sail at first light, then tell me now, or I will just go with Rogers and Palange.
I think as far as preparations goes to that end, there's nothing to it but to do it, really.
Okay. Then stroke, row. Let's get us to the
All right. So
Forte.
Rogers, Payne, Palange, Hayden staying aboard, or is he going?
He'll stay
I
aboard.
believe, staying aboard.
Okay.
Someone's got to be in charge of the ship.
How shall Rogers, Payne, and Palange equip themselves to this end?
I'm going to assume that there is a party out there intent on potential harm, so I will at least sword and weapon, or sword and firearm, but not
So you can grab
too
your
much
belt.
more than Hey,
Yeah,
and also
my-
if this... Yeah, that's cool.
My inventory is accurate as far as what's carried.
Gotcha.
I've got cutlass, pistol, cartridge pouch, knife, light
kit.
cloak.
I hand the coin to Article since he's staying on the boat. I observe which pocket
the
he puts
coin.
it in, just so.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he'll probably forget which pocket he puts it in, which he does all the time.
I was gonna say
in
you
your
may not
right
have it when
pocket.
you get back.
I want to see you
It'll
put it
be
in
here,
your pocket,
but I
Artie.
don't know where. And Palange.
I will probably leave the wall gun behind, but carry my knife and axe pistol.
Gotcha. All right, off you go. I think you got enough people to row this thing.
Yeah, it only takes 2, I believe.
Or one big
No,
Davino.
this is a cockboat. I don't recall.
It takes
I'd
2
have to look.
oarsmen
It's-
and 1 at the rudder.
Well, then what we could do is probably take one of the crewmen with us too, and then that way.
I'll just keep them on the
Yeah.
boat waiting.
Yep.
Okay, so you grab a couple of guys at random.
Yep. Well, I'll leave Isaac's back because he's good. So, and we leave Robert's back. So probably Ollie.
Don't bring anybody new because we just paid them, and this would be an ideal time for them to make a run for it.
Well, see, you only paid them for 1 month, not for the whole thing. So that's
Yeah, but if they could take 1 month's pay and be back in Kingston ready to get on another ship, that'd be even better for them.
not every ship is going to give them anything up front.
Yeah, just saying.
And if they bolt
Yeah.
right now, we
Anyway.
run them down.
Good thinking. Besides,
Only trust the seasoned ones to get close to shore after they got money in their pocket.
all right.
Sounds
So you
good.
grab a couple of unoccupied fellows, and they'll help row, and then watch the boat while you go ashore. All right. Well, because it's still dark and it's not too hard to spot the night watch because they have lanterns. Although it
They
may be a
watch
few
the
blocks
night.
in.
Good sirs, we found this scoundrel attempting to burn our ship in the harbor. Him and one of his friends who did escape our attempts to capture him. Says
Is that right?
there's
Are you
a
an
plot.
arsonist?
Speak up,
Right, we'll deal with that.
But I would also like to announce that I think the La Dame Blanche also had an attempt on theirs. They seem to have been possibly charred and
They may have
looks
been
like
boarded.
their cockboat possibly even boarded. Their
What happened to
cockboat
trying
might
to
be
find who
pirates.
hired him?
I even believe that their cockboat may have been damaged, so there might be some reward if someone were to go out there and assist them.
All right, you won't get that one for free.
I won't. That's fine.
All right.
That will be a.
That's definitely going to be fast talk.
fast talk.
Now, what kind of bonuses can you get for that? I bet
Mostly
you could
true.
get should be able to get status in this case, I think.
They might have also seen some fire stuff out there.
They did see fire. It is kind of believable. I'll give you some credit for that.
Just take the current +2 bonus and then anything else you want on top of that.
Ooh!
Jesus!
Good God!
Nice.
Were they pirates?
Quite
We
possibly.
got pirates in the bay. We haven't had pirates for years.
And I would send a
great.
crew over. I would
gonna
send
get me
a
a
crew
pirate.
over. I would have sent my own part crew to help the La Dame Blanche, but I swear there was a lot of scuffling going on board. Just after the fire. So, unfortunately, my men are ill even right now, and hence why we're not even in the harbor. We want to stay away from you guys.
Don't spread it
Ill
on
of
too
drink.
thick there.
Ill of drink.
Not too many facts. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I kind of like elbow him subtly.
It's like, but yes.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's
assistant.
enough.
up.
Switch it off.
Shut up.
Take about 25% off the top there.
They seem very eager to help,
Might
and
be
they'll one of the guys will frog march the arsonist somewhere, wherever they take these people, back to their night watch office, and the other guy will run at a full gallop to get help.
I pat my
And off
hands
they
and go, I think that worked. Good gentlemen.
Bargain well done.
And now we have no idea who hired him. And no way to find out.
For now, we'll let our Signor Bonsonard figure that one out. We
All
are
right,
safely
back to the ship.
away. Good sir. Lead on.
Alright, I will
And
walk
I
back
have
to the boat.
I have a crap-eating grin.
You return to the ship without incident.
They bought that hook, line, and sinker.
What? What coin? You didn't give me a coin.
It's in your right pocket, right here.
Oh,
Does he
that
have to-
coin.
Does he have a roll for that?
For what?
For losing stuff?
No. He's got concentrating on boring subjects, determining if a trivial detail slipped his mind, and noticing stuff while distracted.
It's just remember where it was. All right. So there's, maybe you can probably already see the light of the dawn coming up. It's very pretty.
Damn, we don't have any Irishmen aboard. That's
Pull
too
the
bad.
other thing. Drop the big white flappy thing and secure it.
Tie that rope to that thing.
Big white
Pull
flappy
the
thing.
levers.
This is a rather safe harbour.
It's one of the largest natural harbors. I don't know if it's in the world or just in the Caribbean.
And all the channels are really deep.
Mm-hmm. Well, they dredge it, so... Yeah,
No, well, according
one
to
of
the map.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's deep on purpose because they dredge the bottom to make it deeper, safer.
Well,
Even back
they
then?
they wouldn't
It
be
is a really
dredging
good
back
harbor.
then.
Yeah, they did.
Why not?
I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Magic was involved.
Well, even without the dredging, it's all the channels are deep. I've just
Yeah,
been
no,
looking at the
there's a-
map.
There's a reason
Title
why this bay
of
was important.
Your sex tape.
Part 2.
The deepening.
Tell you what, before we do anything else, the three of you that went ashore, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Don't fail.
Box or no?
Well, I suppose box would have been better.
Sorry.
Well, I didn't say it, so it's not your fault. Yeah, other than Divino, you guys did notice as you were returning back to the ship that there was at least one other ship that was, looked like it was loading up provisions. Not the La Dame Blanche. So it looked like somebody else is making an early run.
The big Indiaman or something? Somebody? Well, no, they'd have to wait for the tide.
Yeah, they could potentially get in and out.
No, they wouldn't need
without
to wait
waiting
for the tide.
either. Because
Oh,
it is
okay.
pretty deep here.
Gotcha.
At its
I thought-
shallowest, where it's 6 fathoms, so that's roughly 12 meters.
I thought the point of the tides was whether you're sailing against or with the current, though, not so much the depth.
Yeah, there is a tidal current, and I can't determine exactly how strong it is. But if the wind is against the current, it depends on which one's better in this case.
Got it.
And wind just happens to be coming out of the north right now, and it's picked up a fair amount, so it ought to be a good breeze getting out of here.
Can I tell which ship it is that's preparing, or do I just see people loading a boat and that means somebody's preparing?
Well, they're headed out to looks like a cutter over there.
Is that one we've
it's
noticed
been
before?
around, yeah.
Okay.
I suppose
But we
you give me
haven't-
an IQ check, see if you remember it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we know it, or if I know anything about it, or the name of it, or nationality, or anything.
Yeah, you can roll for that. Your memory is good. You didn't have to be in the box, but well,
It's a
I guess
boat.
technically that would be one that would be in the box. Anyway,
Anything informational is supposed to be in the box.
yeah. Well,
What's in the box?
I don't always do that because sometimes the end result is obvious. But in this case, yeah, you do remember the name of it. It's the Rumjack.
The Rumjack.
You don't know who owns it or anything,
Gotcha. I just happen to know the name.
and it hasn't gone anywhere since you guys have been here, as far as you know.
When we get back to the
Actually,
ship,
no, that's not true. It's come in and out, just not very often.
Okay. When we get back to the ship, I'll just mention aside, like not make a big deal of it or anything, to Hayden and Randall that the Rumjack is also making ready to leave.
What do we know of this Rumjack? Anything?
Nothing.
All right. Keep that in mind if we see any others. Oh, you know what we need? We need a sketch artist. Sketch the sails, or like a ship identifier book. So if we see it later on, articles with the man.
I wonder what would be the identifying features that you would draw.
I don't know because I have a
Maybe
specific.
a unique, what's it called?
Silhouette.
Silhouette or
Yeah, the ships around here, most of them are not that unique.
or
At
like
least not at
you know,
the level that you would need it to be.
so the chick that sits on, or the sculpture on the front of the ship, the plow.
Yeah,
or
the figurehead.
prow. Figurehead. That's it.
Yeah, not
you
all
wouldn't
ships
see
have a
that at a
figurehead.
distance.
Yeah, You got a spyglass if you wanted to do that. Now, there are probably really fine detail identifying features that you could record, but what those would be, I have no idea.
Hayden will use his spyglass and have a look over the what was it called?
Rumjack?
The Rumjack.
He'll have a look over the Rumjack just to get an idea of the type of ship, its crew, and perhaps their approximate level of readiness, and just noting some details that he will put in his log, simply because there seems to be a bit of a race going on.
You can also tell how laden a ship is by how it sits in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and given that, you would say it's not riding dirty. Probably loading provisions.
So he'll just note some details, and when he goes to put entries in his log, he will note that because there's a possibility that they are suspicious given current circumstances.
Have you given them a reason to be suspicious?
Well, they're loading up, and there is obviously a third party that doesn't want us to leave, and any ship that wants to try and beat us out of port might be heading to the same place.
Okay, well,
see, that's why you're the master of the ship, because you get it.
As the sun is rising and you start getting ready to go, you have probably reflexively at this point been checking to see what La Dame Blanche is doing, and your distinct impression in the rising daylight is that they are also getting ready to leave.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, and sure, right about the same time, you hear a bell going off, and you see some guys in a longboat heading out. Look like they're heading out toward La Dame Blanche.
So, how many bells?
Everybody wave.
Oh, just a couple of warning bells.
If I remember correctly,
it hasn't been that long.
2 bells is you're leaving.
Not that kind of bells.
4 bells means you're going to regenerate.
Bells in town, like there's something going on.
Oh, okay. So it's not a bell from the ship.
Not a bell from the ship.
Peace.
So, if you're going to get the jump on them, you got to move quick.
Well, that was the plan. So we were ready to go as soon as we had some light.
All right.
Way anchor.
In fact, we could leave earlier if we wanted to tow our boat some of the distance in the dark.
Well, you could potentially get away with moving around in the dark a little bit. You guys know the bay pretty well.
Well, you said it's a
know
full moon,
about
too.
where it starts getting weird, and yeah, there's a full moon, so it's not that bad.
So we can see our landmarks at a distance because the moon is shining on them.
If you're just trying to get the jump on somebody, you could probably get away with 10-15 minutes early.
Are there lighthouses and such here?
I presume so. There's probably
Don't
some
need 'em
kind
in a
of
full
buoy
moon.
system. Well, you need to have the shoals marked and whatnot, and I'm presuming they have markers for that.
I say pitter patter, let's get at her.
So you got to recover the boat, and let's see, cargo stuff you don't have to worry about. I'm not going to make you roll for that right now, unless you're trying to do a rush job. If you're trying to do a rush job, I'll make you roll.
No.
All right.
Just an early start, not a rush.
So recovering the boat takes about 10 minutes with everybody involved, and about the same with the anchor.
Sounds good.
And then you need to make a control roll to exit the port and stand out to sea. That
And that's ship handling.
I'm thinking that's going to be ship handling.
Mine's 14. Holy
Damn.
moly.
And Hayden knows exactly what to do. He's been practicing this for like 6 months, trying to get out of here.
Roger stands
He'll
by.
be hanging off the some of the rigging at the prow of the ship, doing it. What was his name in Master and Commander?
Lucky
Aubrey.
Jack.
Lucky Jack style.
Goldilocks is what his crew called him.
And for the record, you guys are basically, because of the number of crew you have, everybody's got to get involved
Oh yeah.
to get anything done. So nobody's going to be standing there looking cool. Even Hayden's probably going to get in on it. Although it's probably worthwhile to start working out who's going to do what on the ship, generally speaking. For example, who might be running the helm, or the tiller in this case.
Probably don't want me
Let
doing
me
that.
see. Well, you never know.
I might get distracted.
Well, yeah, there's that. But there's a bit that I recall reading about where some Navy ship, I don't remember which one, they would put their cook on the helm because he just had a natural sense for it, and it was able to eke out a couple of knots.
That's awesome.
It's just you never know who's going to be good at something like that. It's more art than science in some cases.
Once we're clear of all the shoals and everything, Rogers will privately go up to Hayden and say, "Fine piece of sailing, John. Well done."
Let's see. What was Randall's success on that fast talk? That was a friggin' margin crit, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
11.
I was going to say 10 minutes per success. That's going to be 110 minutes. They're going to be delayed.
Whoa.
So damn near 2 hours.
Replying to Rogers. Bill, it feels good to set out to sea.
Mm.
It makes me feel alive.
And then he starts hacking up a lung.
Or he suppresses a cough.
Yeah, and the moist sea air might be doing him good, actually.
No, it makes it worse.
Shut up.
At least in the Old West, they always send you to the desert when you're a lunger.
They were idiots.
Well, that's not necessarily true. They were just ignorant.
Mm.
They sound the same sometimes, but they're not the same. All right.
Yeah,
So
dryness does make it worse, though, for the record.
we need to go back to the big map. So I can get rid of that one, and that one, and we need that one, and I need to delete that other one.
We've got 2 Scots, a Welshman, an English kid. I don't know what Bold is. And a Colonial, but no Irishman.
Bold is a Londoner. Nope, no Irish. That's just how it worked out, I guess.
That's too bad.
Red should have been an unlucky Irishman.
No,
We'll
He's
have to
gonna
rely
lucky
on the horseshoe.
Colonial.
True.
All right, so you've got about okay. Well, the actual distance is going to be in the neighborhood of 200 some miles. Your original expectation was 2 or 3 days, and I am working my way over to the spreadsheet. Okay, so I think we're going to go with that and that and that for now. Ooh, that's ugly.
Here comes the hurricane, guys, even though it's January.
Alright, what is... So it looks like you can do about 103 miles in this wind currently. You're going to be tacking quite a bit going into the wind. Not like often, just way out of the way. It will add some distance to the overall trip.
Isn't the wind from the north?
Almost 100 miles. No, it was from the north coming off the bay, but out here it's back to the trade winds. So some distance out of the bay, it'll still be coming from the north, but that'll slack off.
Are we square rigged?
Yes, mostly square.
So we don't tack very well at all.
Well, it's not that you don't tack very well. It's that you can't sail very close to the wind. Not effectively, anyway. The catch rig is a little better than some because it's got the lateen mizzen but that's only does you so much good.
I have no idea what that means.
Probably not. And neither does Spencer. Now, the La Dame Blanche has a bit of an advantage on you in that it's a topsail schooner, so it's mostly
don't know.
fore and aft rigged.
He's got a seamanship of 14.
Well, that's true. What he's learned well. At any rate, so for today, day 4, let's see, you are going to get a bit of a late start. That is not a full 24-hour day start. Sorry, making my, we haven't had to do this before, so I'm having to get all this sorted. So that. The weather, so as you guys cleared out, the winds shifted over more to from the northeast at a pretty good clip. But the skies are clear, and you guys weren't expecting any storm systems, although there has been little bits of sprinkles here and there throughout the last few days. You do know that you're working in the trade lanes right now, so you can expect traffic and daily. So weather, see, distance covered is going to be 103.8 miles, I think.
While you're calculating, someone who has weather sense, what is the difficulty of that skill? IQ what?
Average.
Average.
Ah, thanks.
All right, next thing is, okay, so the day's business is done at noon. That is the navigation stuff. So at noon, you'll take your sightings and make your notations and whatnot. That will be a navigation roll. Whoever's officially going to be the navigator can make the roll. You can get assistance. Failure is going to be a minus 10% per, or no, it's just a straight minus 10, 20 for a crit. You can use area knowledge instead if that's appropriate. You guys are not going to do that here.
So that's a +1, and you also get a +2 because you're sharing my instruments.
So you get the equipment bonus for that as well.
On this one, Mr. Rogers, you can do this one.
Thank you, sir. So we'll go with what I navigated there.
All right.
And Hayden will just be sort of looking over his shoulder, supervising, giving instruction and tips that will help in any way.
All right, that will get you your plus 10%. And we also need a control roll for somebody, whoever you want to be. Basically, whoever you want to roll. Nobody's going to run the tiller the entire day, but you can just pick somebody.
Boom.
Of course, if he feels like it, he can do it. So that's going to be good for another 10%. And let's see, scouting, somebody, again, not everybody's going to, no one person is going to be scouting the whole day, but one person can make the roll. Whoever you want to pick can be.
What kind of roll is this?
That is going to be per base seamanship, and add +4 in open ocean.
So who's going to do that?
Now you could randomly pick a PC, or you can make an NPC do it. Doesn't matter. It's just whoever fails it, it's going to be on their watch that it happens.
Well, by now, everybody is going to be aware that Article is the wrong person to be doing any observation stuff. Because
Then you
he's
decide who
easily
does it.
distracted.
Well, we have bold.
We'll have the spider monkey do it. Night monkey.
What?
So where are we? So
Is this
Of
like
the-
somebody who's like climbed up in the
oh,
crow's
you
nest
mean,
if there's an equivalent, or what?
We don't have a crow's nest. It's just somebody walking around
well,
looking.
there are tops, and you can climb the rigging.
But Henry, are you good at climbing ropes? How good's your eyesight, boy?
Oh, I can climb.
How good's your eyesight, boy?
I can see things. I don't know.
You spot any ships on our following us? I'll give you the shiny shilling.
And
Wow, you're bold.
you about finished that sentence when he's up in the top, like hanging off the friggin' flag. Dude, that kid can move.
Speaking of spider monkey,
Well, DeVito is not the only one with a monkey on this ship.
So you turn around for a second, turn back, and then he's gone.
Right, I was looking for this. The fighting tops are right there, and but you can go all the way up to the upper, the gallants, and hang off the. Because anybody manipulating the sails up there has to go up there anyway. There's foot ropes up there to walk on, and there's no reason somebody can't go up there to watch. Although more than likely they'll stick with the fighting tops.
brave kid.
It is a long way up there too.
I'm not a fan of climbing that high.
Probably not. Also, the higher up you go, the more it goes back and forth when the ship rocks, because there is some waves here. It's a bit choppy. So there's some up and down, and anybody who hadn't been used to the sea is probably feeling it.
Seamanship for health-based seamanship.
You guys have been at it long enough. I'm not going to make you roll that. Let's see. So, and he didn't make his roll, so I'm going to roll that for him. All right, he will be that. And so, as far as observations go, one of the first things he's going to call out when he gets up there is a schooner coming up aft.
Well, you just have to pay him a shilling.
About back at the horizon. I would say probably about 110 minutes behind.
I would throw the coin to him, but I feel terrible if it doesn't make it there.
Yeah, there's no way that was going to make it.
Keep a lookout. Just shiny shilly is we'll wait. However,
that's one each, right, sir?
Let's see.
Randall's like, well, I'm going to have to trade some character points for
what did I get?
money.
He's got you there.
Yeah.
I may have to owe you. Okay, so there are two more rolls we need to make. One is going to be a universe reaction roll for the day's interestingness.
I'll do that.
Oh.
Nope, never mind. All right.
Oh,
yes.
So nice.
Yes.
I was going to say, could we choose?
Interesting.
But never mind. Good roll.
And the other one is going to be for shipping traffic. So
Is this another reaction?
No, it is not.
What is it? So like 3D roll or something like that?
I believe I need to do that. So whoever wants it. All right. Looks like no further traffic other than what you presume to be Le Dame Blanche coming up behind.
Let's see how this is working. Nothing. I want more. Okay, so
Well, you got to roll a 10 to get anything, but nothing.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. I want to see what it says.
Oh.
That's interesting.
The subtables aren't filled out yet, looks like.
No, they are.
So how is that supposed? That didn't automatically roll.
Because I haven't shared the rest of them. That's why.
Oh.
I guess I'll have to fix that.
Well, share the rest of them because I want to see how this is supposed to work. Let me know when they're shared.
I think that's all of them.
That's funny. You actually rolled a 10 that time.
Script error. String scripts manager table to do it. Attempt to index field node table. Nil value.
I don't see that.
Threat level neutral. Bearing 1 point starboard. Course crossing.
Interesting. All right, carry on.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Well,
like,
it's
a cool
January, so we're still technically in winter.
It's like some kind of accident.
It's totally
winter
my
in
fault.
the Caribbean.
Yeah, but it's still technically. I said technically winter.
Let's see. Accident.
It is probably Article's fault, and he's distracted.
Yeah, Article drops the coin off the side.
No, he took the coin back. He didn't
Oh.
trust me.
In 3,000-meter deep sea.
What I don't
Let's
know is that the
see.
monkey has already swapped the coin, so that wasn't really the coin.
I have an idea. So, during the day, setting the sails and whatnot, and or trimming the sails at one point, Red makes a bit of a screw up, and that ends up catching Claude, and he ends up with an injury to his arm.
All
Spencer,
right, I'll have
we need you.
Have to take Claude away and treat the injury.
And while he is helping Red, I will. While he's helping him, I will take Red aside and help him with what his error was.
Yeah, it was an honest mistake for a landsman. He just doesn't know what he's doing, and he knew he screwed it up. So he'll take his lumps with that one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to use leadership to make it.
But use leadership to see how well he's going to learn that lesson.
Yeah, exactly. My point
What?
is,
You're not going to flog him?
No, I don't want him to suffer. I want him to learn.
You guys didn't buy a cat.
That's true.
What?
We can probably make
Ah, should have bought the cat.
We definitely should have had a cat.
We got a monkey instead. That's better.
Yeah, but the monkey doesn't eat
Darn
mice.
Skippy. No,
No,
he's
it's
killing
gonna-
him
how
off
do
the
you know?
ship.
Oh, that's a good point. It could be a carnivorous
When I say the
monkey.
cat, I mean the cat of nine tails. By the
Oh,
way.
we know.
I'm completely
giving you a
ignoring
hard
it.
I thought you wanted ship's cat to eat the rats.
I mean, the
I
cat
don't know,
is a
I
good point, but I knew what you meant.
Here you go. Daniel, I'm going to invoke serendipity. A cat did just sort of meander onto the boat while, and I've been goofing off with it and haven't told anybody.
So you're
Okay.
using one of our planning points to have a ship's
No,
cat for luck.
No, it's like I have serendipity.
Oh, you're using your serendipity. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, what happens when the cat and monkey fight?
So
Monkey wins.
Why would they do that?
a slight revision then.
It came
there-
aboard with
as
some
it
of the
happens-
supplies, and
As
nobody
it
really
happens, yeah,
noticed.
it came out of the provisions you guys brought up. It was nobody knows how it got in there. Maybe it was sleeping on something.
And I've just
and,
been sort of giving it some of my food without even paying attention to the fact that where'd this cat come from?
It happens to be a black cat,
Nice.
and it happened to have been out on deck just a minute ago when Red happened to see it and almost step on it, and that's
and
what
freak out
happened.
because where the hell did that cat come from?
Oh man, that's bad luck.
No, it's not. That cat's name is Lucky.
Well, what's its name?
Its name is Lucky.
I know, but what's its name?
Who's on first?
Injuries were had. It looked like a pretty deep. There's some blood. There's definitely going to probably involve stitches. But Claude, for some reason, doesn't want you to remove his shirt.
Uh-oh.
Religious things, probably.
Well, I can't fix your arm here. You can go over here and do this.
You going to take
Oh,
Claude
man.
below?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And I'm looking. Hey, I do have diplomacy. I will attempt diplomacy and fail. Wow. Your arm looks broken. Maybe. Actually, I don't know what the diagnosis determines there.
let's see. Claude would probably get a will roll against that.
At least let me cut the stupid sleeve.
And as it happens, Claude is not feeling particularly willful at the moment.
Because it really hurts.
Because it really hurts, and there is a lot of blood, and that's concerning. So Claude will allow you to work on the table in the gallery, providing everybody else is above deck. And
here we go.
soon soon as you get to dealing with that situation, you
I
realize
totally
why.
don't notice. No, I totally didn't notice that part.
That was not something you could not notice.
That's too bad. Ah, okay, well.
That would be very house-like to just like fix the arm and not notice the bandaged chest.
She
and
was,
just like
yeah, she was wearing.
just like wait until sometime later. It's like that's gonna hurt if you keep doing it that way.
Actually,
I've got some better scarves for that.
Actually, I'll give you the absent-minded and say that it's a bit later when you realize that. Hey, wait a minute.
And she's probably like, wait a minute.
You wake up in the middle of the night. Hold up.
Okay, well, give the.
So what is that, like a
go ahead and
first
give
aid?
me the first aid. Yeah, it's probably going to be good enough. It's not that bad of an injury. It looks worse than it is.
We still have grace period, yeah?
It is still grace period. What do you need?
The skill teaching.
That could potentially be a thing.
You do need that as a potential ship captain, because the midshipmen were relying. Yeah, you were their teacher.
That's exactly what I'm
That is
getting
true.
Yeah, I should have taken that too. I'm going to spend tonight's point on that.
That's valid. All right, well, that was a thing. And yes, for the record, if Ash had played tonight, her secret came up. I think later, if Article goes back to interrogate her about why she might have been wearing that, if he even bothers, she might have to fast talk him out of it and say it's something else. She might get away with it. She might not.
Yeah. Funny thing. You were talking about the cat being named Lucky. Latin. The name Faustus is good luck in Latin, and that would totally be something Article may accidentally name him. And everyone's like, "What? Really?"
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Actually, when is that? When did that actually get written? Well, I'm thinking of the play,
Latin?
not the original story. I guess the original story had been
Bargain.
longer. Have to look at the history on that.
Faust is protagonist of a classic German legend based on the historical Johann Georg Faust, circa 1480 to 1540.
Okay, settles that.
And that works because Article does have literature.
All right, I think we ended up with 20% for the day.
Yes.
So that is going to get us 124 miles out of 222. So not quite to the first tack. And I need to make a note of that somewhere. That's the navigator's job. I know. Put it over here. Typing stuff.
Me too.
All right. And that's day one.
I hope we're not going to have to do that for every day.
Well, I think we're establishing some standard operating procedures.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to go faster, obviously. And we can mitigate some of this by taking 10 and whatnot.
Yeah, Ghost Faust is actually from the 1800s, but the early Faust chapbook on circulation in northern Germany found its way to England, where in 1592 an English translation was published, The History of the Damnable Eye, and deserved the death of Dr. John Faustus. The more you know.
So judgy.
Second day at sea. 5 January. What is this? Friday. The weather is, the winds are still out of the northeast at a moderate breeze, I think is referred to. Yeah, it's the moderate breeze. It starts clouding up early in the day, and there are some sprinkles a bit throughout, but none of it really lasts all that long. It's enough to wet the sails a bit.
Great. Make them draw better.
How many days away was the place we were going? Is it 7 days?
3 and some change.
Oh, okay, never mind. Man, I don't know what the heck was up with that.
Let's see. So, weather that. Day's business. Navigation. And I expect this is probably something you're going to end up using quick keys for. And I have zero problem with developing an SOP for this.
So you get a +1 for the assist and a +2 for my instruments.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Holy crap.
So that'll be a succeed by 17.
Ah, crap, I forgot
Wow.
Noise.
Did we just, hit warp speed?
Ludicrous.
Wow.
Ludicrous.
It's gone plaid.
Okay.
Take us to warp. Engage.
Engage.
So in the morning when the sun comes up, you guys look back and La Dame Blanche is keeping up.
What?
Let's see about
But this is a
after
new day.
This one.
This is a new day, though. All right, so crit success, that gets us 20% off the top, I think. Control roll. Who's manning the tiller today?
Article, who's on the tiller?
Isaac.
Make Randall do it. He's got to get good at something.
Yes, Randall's doing it.
What am I doing?
I don't know.
Seamanship.
I'm actually, a 12?
Yeah, he's not bad. He knows what he's doing. All right, that's
Excellent.
a success. That's going to get you 30% total. And the per base seamanship for detecting stuff.
Who do we have that we haven't used here? Let's use hurdy-gurdy guy, Ollie.
All right, Ollie it is.
As he wants some of that shilling action from Randall. And Randall's like, no, I just promised Henry. I didn't promise you.
All right, you encounter no hazards on account of not seeing things.
That's who's looking to tune up his instrument.
All right, and we need the reaction roll for the day and the traffic roll.
I rolled the last reaction. I can roll it again.
Ethan.
Can I roll it? Oh.
Ethan's turn.
Reaction.
Yes!
Wow. It's going to be like that. All right, and traffic.
I'll do the traffic. Where's the table?
It's the trade lanes one. There you go.
Nada.
No new traffic. Just La Dame Blanche trying to keep up. And, so you'll notice throughout the day that La Dame Blanche seems to be drifting a little out of the lane. And before the day's end, you don't see her masts anymore.
We seem to have lost the Frenchman.
It could be
Having
a
said
ruse.
that, the day didn't go as well as you might have liked. Let's see what happens.
All right, because it was poor.
And I'm totally doing the tarot, by the way.
Perfect.
Cards. That's interesting. Let me see. What does that mean? That and that.
You ever heard of Storyforge cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those.
I have those on my desk right now.
They're awesome.
Yeah, I was just looking at my pack.
Yeah, but Daniel's a weirdo. He likes to actually use the real tarot cards.
Yeah.
Weirdo weirdy.
I've been
I
trying
don't
to
think
learn
that's
them.
weird.
It's Tower,
Interesting.
isn't it?
Okay.
We're
No,
gonna get eaten
not
by
Tower.
a kraken.
All right, let's see what that's gonna come up with. Where are my damn images? Okay. Red is really scared of that cat. It just spooked the holy hell out of him, and nobody can convince him otherwise that thing is not a witch.
But it's my witch. It's not a witch.
And Henry's been trying to talk him out of it because Henry really likes the cat. Cat plays with Henry all the time and avoids the hell out of the monkey because it doesn't know what the fuck that is.
Need to get it to where it can ride the monkey can ride the cat.
Battle cat.
That monkey's
Battle
too
monkey.
big for that cat.
Vice versa.
Okay,
then.
never mind.
Unless it's a big cat. I mean, have you seen a Maine Coon?
It's a big monkey. It's not like the little one that's in Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a larger version of that. It's one of the ones you see with the organ grinder dancing with the little hat. Yeah, so at some point there are some raised voices, but no fisticuffs or anything. And unless somebody wants to make an influence roll to try to get him to throw off his superstition. But he's clearly less than 100% confident in his own in his chances of surviving all this.
I think I might make it worse.
I'm gonna
Does
try
the fact
leadership
that
again.
he's a red shirt and is scripted to not make it worse for him?
No,
yeah,
I mean,
that probably would.
Yeah, I mean, basically, articles explaining how it's not a witch, it's gonna make it worse because he's gonna be like, no, if anything, it's likely a manifestation of a fairy who is here to mess with us all, particularly me.
Are you going to do that?
Not making it better.
I think I am gonna do that,
All right.
and I got my fairy lore wrong.
I will give you a Benny for that. And also,
while everyone else on the ship is just looking at the article like, what the hell did he just say?
Dude, I love that. Disapproves -1.
all right, let's see what you came up with at the end of the day.
I'm presuming somebody else is like gonna do that's not helping. Just ignore him.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. So, 135 for today, apparently.
Hayden will nip it in the butt, and he'll say,
Just
Mr.
a
Sherd,
cat, sir.
Mr. Sherd, we are all going to die one day. Some sooner than others, but I can assure you, this cat will have nothing to do with it. And then he trips over the cat, and he impales himself on a spike or something.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Spencer, we need you.
Medic!
Again?
So that is the last that I wish to hear of it.
All right, let's see. What is our
Did you
actual total
did
for
you
today?
see, also, Daniel, did you see my comment in there and the thing with
No,
regards to
I missed
Claude?
it.
While replacing
yeah.
Claude's bandages, going to make some discreet suggestions about better binding material that doesn't chafe.
Ah, okay.
And he's just like, whatever.
So I would guess that means you're going to attempt to convince Claude, or Claudia, as it were, that you're going to keep her secret.
Absolutely. I don't see why it's super important, but sure.
Yeah, it sounds to me like the conversation isn't even about the secret. It's about practicality.
That too. But it seems important to him, her, to Claude. I keep all sorts of Randall's weird secrets. You don't want to know about them. I don't want to know about them.
Hell.
Randall goes streaking by. Hey, everybody!
All right, looks like our total for the day is... Damn it, and I just dropped the calculator before I was done. Yep. Bastard. Now I have to do that math again. I'm going to have to find a better way to track that.
Probably because
It will be done.
jamming to Vivaldi in the background.
All right, so that's 259 total. And that means you've got about 50 miles left. So you're very nearly there. Damn. That was, yeah, you really shortened that. So let's see. All right. Yeah, you are not inside of land yet, though. But you figure not inside of land yet.
Oh, inside of land. I thought you said something else. And I was like, what?
But you figure if you guys can continue to make good time, you could potentially see landfall early. Now, of course, when you first see landfall, that's going to be Cap Tiburon, and then you've got a little bit a ways to go before you actually get to Île-à-Vache. All right then. So, day 3 at sea. January 6th, 1725. The winds shift a little bit, more northerly as you guys round the point. And the winds have, the winds are going to reduce a little bit as you get into the evening. There's a bit of rain early, but that clears off pretty quickly, and it's actually lowered the temperature a little bit, so it's a bit more comfortable outside. And aside from that, let's do the thing. So that's weather, travel distance, day's business, navigation.
Do we have some aspiring sea peoples?
Well, you got 2 landsmen aboard that are specifically there to get trained up, and Ollie has some experience, but he's not to the level of everybody else. But the old man there is obviously he's pretty good, and Mr. Bold definitely knows his ropes.
Well, since
Furlong actually knows his way around too really well.
Since we made really good time the previous day, Hayden's going to take this opportunity to gather those that are learning, and he will supervise them plotting the course.
I think the way I will do that is you can do the navigation as usual, but they will assist you, and they will probably fail.
Or how about do it as a navigation roll? I get +1 for everyone that has the skill, and minus no, because they'll all have the skill.
Well, they don't all have. They've got seamanship, but they don't have navigation.
Yeah, I'm going to try to learn. I don't have navigation, see?
Yeah, we can do it that way. Just take the -1 for the guys that don't have it, that are
Prerequisite is
trained.
mathematics, though. So those who are illiterate and have no schooling don't have the prereqs.
Well, they can
Crap,
still.
how do I not
They can
have
still
math?
try to learn. They're just going to have to learn math at the same time.
You don't have to have mathematics as a skill to know mathematics. It's more of like a background thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's
that's
just,
fine.
It doesn't make sense for me not to have math with all of the
That's
schooling.
true. You have
that he's-
accounting.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm gonna have to. Guess what? I'm gonna end up having to spend a point on.
Well, the mathematics skill doesn't mean you. The lack of mathematics skill does not mean you don't know how to count. It just means you don't know about mathematics as a science.
Alright, so I have teaching 12, so according to teaching I don't need to actually roll that.
No, I wouldn't make you roll that. I'll consider that good.
And so how many are sitting in on this teaching lesson?
Article definitely is. I wonder if he can actually pay attention though.
Yeah, you can try.
Rogers is interested.
Well, Rogers probably doesn't have as much to learn.
Well,
Although that
Rogers
doesn't
could
mean-
be an assist.
Everybody's probably listening in, but certain ones of them are actually trying to learn something.
Yeah, what I mean is Rogers is interested in the learning, like the people who are there to learn.
Well, Rogers could make an
that's
assist
good.
roll.
All right. Well, Red and Henry and Ollie will all participate.
So
I
plus
guess
article.
Article is trying to as well. He's just not going to be as effective at it.
So -4.
-4.
And
Yeah.
since we have a bunch of noobs, Rogers is just gonna let us use the ship's instruments. He's gonna leave his in his trunk because
Gotta
if
make
he
it
drops something
extra
like
hard.
that, it's gone forever.
That is true. Palanche might be able to fix something like that.
Well, made it anyway.
He does
+1.
guns,
So
so
-3.
have at it. All right. Well, it's good for
Awesome.
your 10. All right, what's next? At the helm. Who's going to make that roll?
Article.
Make Davino do it.
It'll have
Davino
to be
hasn't
someone
done it
that
yet.
wasn't learning.
True.
Who's at the helm? Article.
Oh yeah, we'll make Davino do it.
Alrighty. Which one would be best for that? Seamanship?
All
I
right,
did not
that's
suck,
good.
hooray.
You
Good
did not
work.
suck. And the watch roll.
Whose turn is it? We had Henry and Ollie. And both of them are trying to learn. We'll have Furlong do it.
He'll do it. Okay. And he will miss absolutely nothing. So that leaves us with the reaction and the traffic.
Let's see, I haven't done a reaction in a while, so I'll do a reaction. Can I get bad? Please get bad.
Eh.
You could
hope the
always go
traffic
to the
table
horseshoe and turn it upside down for the roll.
And no traffic. Alright, let's see what our speed looks like today. That was 20. Our, let's see, miles per day is going to be 40. So that puts us back to 124, which means we're going to get there a third of the day. So 4 hours, depending. Yeah.
Huzzah!
Yeah, so you guys will, early in the morning, you send Furlong up to do the watch, and he calls out land, and you guys consult the charts and whatnot, and determine that is most likely Cap Tiburon. So you know what I'm talking about.
I never know what you're talking about.
Well, that's a thing. That would be that point right there. Yes.
That's where.
And as soon as you see that point, you know that you're making your turn in to the north to enter the strait that goes around Île-à-Vache. Île-à-Vache is right across the strait from there. And let's see, more maps, because I got lots of maps. Let me see, which one are you? You want that? No, not that one yet. Well, that one. For starters, again, we're there.
And we're going to red or pink, whatever that is.
Let me see here. Damn it. It's not that one. Did I not include the right one?
Bad GM. Bad.
I think I may not have included that one. Okay, well, I had another map from the another period map that showed the area a little better. So what I would have pointed out on that map is that there are settlements on the southern coast of Saint-Domingue, but they're not big settlements. They're basically just a few friggin' huts. But there are anchorages there. So, more importantly, is Île-à-Vache itself. So, for the record, this particular map is turned on its side, counterclockwise. I think north is that direction.
Ah.
It's actually written on the map. It says Nord.
Yes. Well, yes, it does actually say that there. And so the old Tom told you that the house was at the Ferret Bay, which is as indicated. And you have gotten some instructions from the guys you talked to back in Kingston about the area, and you know roughly how to navigate into that bay without killing anybody. So, sometime a little bit before noon, you get here, you start to shorten sail, and get ready to turn into the bay as you spot it.
Wow, that period map is not even close to real.
Oh, they never are.
Oh, that reminds me. What do you, in the process of like creating your own charts, how do you do that? Is like just cartography?
I don't know exactly, but I would presume that cartography would be the primary skill you'd be using for that.
I'm wondering, how do you determine, in this particular case, if I wanted to make my own, sort of making the maps, our version of the charts or whatnot. I mean,
No,
how
I
do
think
you measure that stuff?
I think you're gonna need specific equipment in order to
I do
do
have a
an
mapping kit.
actual. Well, then you have the specific equipment you need to do actual surveyor tools in order to accurately map a coastline. And when I say accurately, I mean accurately for the period. But yeah, there's no reason you couldn't be doing that. Although I don't know exactly how that works. I think you have to be going really slowly and taking a lot of measurements as you go. So it's probably not something you can do at full gallop.
Yeah,
At
that's
any rate,
fine. I was just curious.
it is something to think about because time spent will matter here. So if you do a lot of mapping, you'll be putting points into it.
Well, I do have a cartography skill. I was just curious.
I think what I will do here is a control roll, probably ship handling by the master. And that will get you into the bay without wrecking. And you do so handily.
We're at -3 for the ship, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, that should probably count.
It is that right? Is it -3? I think it's -3.
I need to check just to make sure. And some of those stats have changed because I keep trying to get more accurate. Handling's -2.
Okay.
SR's 3.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So he's still very easy.
Yeah, still good. And yeah, so the once you get up into this strait around Île-à-Vache, the current is considerably stronger, as mentioned before. So it takes a little more work to get in there.
You need to add the stats for the Dane into the vehicles.
Yeah, I thought I had done that at one point, and no, I guess I haven't yet. I'm gonna do that.
We have a carriage, coach, and rowboat. They're the only vehicles.
Because I told you there was going to be a coach chase at some point. I had to get those.
Well, at least that's all you've shared so far. So
yeah, I still haven't. I'm still settling some of the stats because for example, the move that the original stats that I pulled from seems a little too high for real.
Did you get the latest Steve Jackson vehicles book?
No, I haven't picked that up yet.
It's got lots of It's got lots of ships and coaches and wagons and all sorts of stuff.
I guess I probably better. Who wrote that one? Was that Rice?
I don't know. I'll have a look.
Is that a full 4E vehicles like the 3E vehicles?
No, that's fantasy vehicles. It's
okay.
just it's a sample vehicles thing. It's not
Gotcha.
design rules or anything.
No, this one was written by Phil Masters.
Right.
Sailing ships.
Yeah, I was probably going to pick that up. I just hadn't done it yet.
Well, do it after the game.
I might. In the meantime, welcome to Ferret Bay.
Ferret Bay.
So this, as you see it. And it's, actually, I need to put an actual grid on this so you can see what the friggin' distances are. What is that, leagues? Those are leagues.
What class of ship are we?
It's a 50-ton catch. Alright, now, let's see, that means that bay is about 6 miles at its shortest point, maybe. So it's pretty big. And according to the charts you have, pretty deep as well. Don't have to worry too much about what's in it. And as you are sailing into this bay, no doubt Randall is fantasizing in his head about having been here when Captain Morgan was here with all his treasure and his fleet, and not being here when his flagship, the Oxford, was blowing up in the bay. And actually, anything that was blown up is probably still in this bay. So the floor is littered with cannon and potentially other treasure. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for that building up there on that hill. There's a little ruined cottage, looks like, made of stone, and old Tom said that was the only stone building that you can see out of the bay. It's hard to miss.
Huh.
So, drop anchor?
Drop anchor, prepare the boat.
Gonna beach the ship, or are you gonna anchor offshore and row in?
My
Who's getting
suggestion
out?
is to drop anchor and take the ship in. I mean, take the boat in.
Now, there's also potentially you could get fresh water here. And there are settlements on the island. There are people that live here, so there is the potential of trading, possibly for provisions or something like that. Your expectation would be that anybody who lives on this island is probably somebody that wasn't welcome on the mainland.
Probably not nice people.
They could be Irish.
It could just be escaped slaves and that sort
Or
of thing.
worse.
There's probably a large maroon population here. And they're also all, more than likely,
Why they
French
gotta be
speakers.
maroon?
Yeah, they could be chartreuse instead.
Shut up.
Somebody's got to be that guy.
Suddenly, Daniel shares all of the crew with disapproves -1.
Uh-huh. So, and also worth noting that Thomas, throughout the day, has been keeping watch, and he has not seen any sign of La Dame Blanche behind us.
Perhaps they sank.
Well,
No,
it
wait,
was a
that
good
could be
effort.
bad.
Here's your coin.
Or somebody rolled a crit fail on their navigation.
Oh wow, really?
Nice.
So they turned around and went the other way?
No, they're just going to have to waste some time trying to get back on track. So right now they're probably past the island. That's not where that's supposed to
But
be.
it's gonna get fired.
Privately, John, I don't think we should beach her because we don't know who's here.
Absolutely not. We would be slaves to the tide. If we beached her, we would be a slave to the tide. We'll weigh anchor or lay anchor in the bay.
Very good, sir.
Actually,
and I'll order the
go ahead.
the anchor dropped and the boat prepared.
I wonder who's officially going to be the coxswain on this ship. Who's in charge of the boat?
Claude.
He's a god.
Claude.
I think Mr. Bold.
Well, yeah, he'd make a good one
We're a
probably.
bunch of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, we're
Bunch
9-year-olds.
of friggin' children. No, I was going to tell you the nonsuch that this ship is based on was specifically made as small as it was because in the north in the winters the bay would freeze over. Hudson Bay would freeze over. They had to actually be able to drag that thing out of the water in the winter, or it would get crushed by the ice.
So it had to be light enough that the crew could pull it.
Mm-hmm. Or,
That's
well,
hilarious.
somebody could pull it. Anywho, so, yeah. You ready to boat? Let's not do that. We'll presume that's going to go okay. Actually, no, we already did the reaction for the day, and it was neutral, so nothing really, quote-unquote, interesting happens in that regard, ship operations. I guess there's nothing to it but to get up there to that house.
So we need to assemble an away party consisting of, let's see, Hayden, Rogers, Randall, Artigal, and Davino.
I don't see anything wrong going with that.
We need Red.
We can, yes, we're going to take Red because I'm going to ask Henry to watch after my cat.
And Bold to captain the boat, or, run the boat.
You have the con, sir. Very well, sir. All right, well,
All
it
right.
takes you a little bit. You row over to shore, and having been at sea for 2 days and a bit, your legs are a little wiggly, but you're used to that because you're all experienced seamen. Except for Red, who's still kind of wobbly and wondering if he should really be here.
I'm probably not helping with my tales about the fairies, am I?
You're going to get turned into a cube of salt or something. You guys even watch the show?
I understood that reference.
So, there's a ruined cottage up the hill a bit, and as you...
ScoutingNewYork.com.
Yeah, ignore that. And as you approach, you see first that there are canvas flapping in the breeze up there, like somebody's built some kind of tent or something.
And Red is going to think it's a ghost.
He is not going to think it's a ghost. He is going to think it's a sign of something terrible, though.
Yes, that ship crashed.
And at this point, I will ask for perception checks. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Perception or observation?
Yes? Is everybody? No, we're missing somebody. Pain.
Where's my button? What? Oh. I'm rolling this outside the box. Wow.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where it's going to be obvious whether or not you failed. Before we take care of that, though, how are you guys equipped?
Ball gun and large knife. Yeah, I'll bring the burning pistol too. I'll bring everything. Yeah.
Full kit.
As indicated on my inventory tab.
Roger.
I am going to be adjusting my crap. I can't. I don't have that thing. I have everything that is listed on my inventory tab, plus like the I think the carry physician's kit.
Oh, you bringing the
6
case with you?
No, it's the 6-pound physician kit.
Oh, okay.
So that's like basically
Right.
it's first aid, such like that.
The black bag.
The black bag, yeah.
And Brian's still sorting himself out.
Everything that I've got listed as either equipped or carrying.
All right.
Sort yourself out.
As you guys are approaching the house, and undoubtedly Randall's running a little bit ahead of everybody because he's all excited, and he's the first one to notice that there's some. Not only is there flapping of canvas coming from the house, there's also moving of people in there as well. It is occupied.
So only Randall notices this because he's ahead?
Well, he's the first to notice.
Randall.
All right.
So which of our crew did we take with us? Was it Robert and Red?
Bold
Red.
and Red.
No, I thought Bold was staying behind.
I thought he was staying. I thought Bold and Red were crewing the boat.
Oh, they're staying in the boat.
That was my impression.
Oh, okay.
I'll just put little
Also fine.
tokens on the ones that are going with us on the UA mission.
Could use the party sheet for that.
I mean, Red could come with us, but I want Bold to stay with the boat. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, we're gonna need a regular where is everybody graphic.
All right.
To figure out what's gonna be the best for that. In the meantime.
So Bold can stay with the boat, Red can come with us.
Either way.
And as we leave, I'll say to Bold, if anyone approaches, row out.
Understood, sir. Alright, so as you approach, you noticed activity in the house. It is occupied. Now what?
All right. I will
I
kind of
can-
give the.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Good.
I'll give the hand signal that, hey, we're not, like slow up, and then I think, there's somebody in there, and try and grab, and then I'll start reaching for Article's coat. It's like, Article, wait,
What?
somebody else in the house.
There is?
Keep your voice down.
Does Bold have a gun?
He does. Because why wouldn't he? Actually, he's got one of the Buccaneer Fizzy that you guys captured the other day.
Alright, so adding to Roger's instruction, fire a shot if anyone approaches.
Ah, gotcha.
Nod, nod, nod.
Alright, as you guys are crouching behind cover or whatnot, you see a black man armed black man step out of the door looking somewhere over there, and then you see him stop for a second and look right back at you guys, And then he
Ara
runs
goes
back
and goes,
inside.
Hello.
And then second later, a couple more guys with guns come out of the front. And they yell, Arrêtez! Qui va là? It's French.
All right. Well, I can respond in French. Go. Well, hello.
They said, stop, who goes there?
Does anybody else speak French other
I
than
do.
me?
I don't, but I'm showing my palms.
Okay. Well, I'm going to presume that since Randall actually speaks French and he's something of a talker, that he's going to respond to that. Or at least I'm going to look at him like.
Technically,
Well,
I guess in a way, Randall is in charge of the expedition right now because he's on his expedition.
You know, in a non-threatening posture, I'll be like, we're not here. We're not here for we're just explorers. We're here to look things over. We don't know you, and we mean no harm, kind of thing.
What is your comprehension level of French?
I am accented. I speak French with a accent.
I'm processing something. While I'm processing this, you can. What is your approach at this point? What would you say you are up to? What do you want to accomplish?
Put him at ease and not alarm him, like we're potentially keep him calm. I don't need him running off and screaming, alerting anyone else, that kind of stuff.
He said there's multiples. There's
Oh.
like 3 guys there now.
Well, but we're not there. Obviously we have no quarrel with them, or
Are they like actually pointing the weapons at us?
That's what I heard.
Oh, yes. Yeah, those weapons are pointed in your general direction, yes.
pointed in our general directions. And it might behoove them to point the weapons elsewhere if they don't desire to get harmed. I don't know.
Oh
That's a
no!
I don't know.
Friends don't threaten
specifically,
friends.
Specifically, what I mean is, assuming you get them to talk to you, then what? What is the plan?
Allowance to explore the ruins here.
You just want to be let into the house so you can poke around.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. We'll be in and out and on our way, kind of thing.
All right. Well, let's see. I think how we'll do this is no, let's just do it with the 1. So we'll do a reaction or influence roll, and you can choose your skill if you want to do that.
That's going to be... I'm going to go with diplomacy.
And you're going to be at a -1 for your accented French. I don't think you would get your status in this case.
That's fine, but I have an honest face.
You have an honest face.
That's hysterical because I have a dishonest face.
Okay, you have an honest face. We'll take that into account. Can we think of anything else? I guess a couple of you guys look like Navy. Look like British Navy. You all kind of look very British.
Yeah, but Rogers is also
Except
showing his
Plante.
palms.
Right.
His hands are far from his weapons. Peaceful posture.
It's probably not unusual in these parts.
I'm good looking. I might look tasty. I don't know. How does my appearance look to them?
I'm not sure how that would work.
Cling!
Yeah.
I don't think they're cannibals. But it
Well,
depends
think
on
a
how
lot of
desperate they
yourself.
are. Alright, well you can make the roll.
So I'm at a minus
If,
1, but a plus 1. So I'm at a base so far.
Yeah, it looks like.
And he should totally luck that if he has to, but he may not have to. Holy crap.
May not have to.
He said he thinks he looks tasty. This bitch.
Alright, well as you speak back and forth with them, they keep leaning back into the doorway to yell back at, apparently they have a boss inside. And eventually the boss comes out, and he will walk out to you without a weapon in hand, although he is armed. The other guys are basically covering him right now, and he walks out to talk to you directly.
Perfect.
And so your angle here is you want to be allowed into the house?
Correct. Shouldn't take but a few moments. On our way, we'll share some whiskey. I don't know.
Do you have whiskey?
Or rum.
Do you have rum?
I could buy it from one of the guys on our ship.
But you would have to go back to the ship and get it, though. Well, basically, you say you want into the house, and he said, "This is my house. What do I get out of it?"
Oh, I don't want to say money because then they'll just rob us.
No, they won't.
Or they might think it's easier to rob us.
There are clearly more guys inside as well.
Right.
So you know, they may
For,
outnumber you.
For Daniel,
But we outclass them.
Bruno has requested to make a dice roll if it's required.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
So if there's a universe reaction roll or something like that.
Yeah. Is that like built into the Twitch thing, or has he just got some dice?
Well, I just said have some dice handy.
Yeah, I assume he's got physical dice.
Fair enough.
I wonder if there's a dice
I ask
rolling
them,
app.
what is it that they need? Maybe we can meet your needs and work out a trade.
He's like, "Well, that's a very big gun over there. Very fine."
Oh.
No.
No.
I'm
And then
yeah.
Jovino shoots him.
Boom.
No.
Oh. Who's the next leader that wants to start talking?
That's when it went bad, Your Honor.
I don't know. What you got?
We have some trade goods. We
You got
have
money? You got silver?
Sure. Those things we do have, and
Let's see it. What's this house worth to you?
I want to say your lives, but that's not what I say.
What if he's psychic?
Oh my gosh.
He might
then
have
I'm in
heard you
trouble.
think that.
Then I'm in trouble. Crap. I come up with some convoluted something or other and fast talking. I'm drawing a blank here.
All right. Anybody else got any ideas? Something you're willing to part with?
Well, I was kind of thinking
We have supplies.
Article might be able to interject. It's like, you know, that boil there on your arm, that looks like it's infected.
Did you use
take
serendipity
care of that.
already?
Yeah, I already did that. Remember for the cat. Although I guess I
That's
could
right.
do that for that could have been the logistics thing. Yeah, I used that for the cat.
Oh, that's true. Now you guys do have the planning plot points, so you could use that for something.
Randall, we took
then
on
I'm
board.
going to say I have rum.
So you're going to use one of those planning points and say we bought some trade goods for this purpose. All right. That
approve.
is perfectly legit. So where is that?
Because we did know that there were people on these islands. Most of them were generally pretty hostile. So we needed something that, is universally accepted as currency without necessarily being currency.
All right. Now,
Yep.
are you going to use one for the ship, or are you going to use one from you?
I'm going to use one from, well, what do you guys think? Would that have been something I could have talked you guys into as a ship buy, or...
Well, as we're discussing, Hayden will say we took aboard ample supplies. Being isolated out here like they are, our supplies may be valuable to them.
They don't look well fed.
So we have food, and I have this whiskey, which whiskey will be onto my personal.
All right,
I'm fine
so you're
with it
taking
being
one.
a ship.
But I can give you I can give you the rum now, but the food will have to, we can
All
bring
right,
to you in a moment.
I'll take a plot point, personal plot point from Randall, and he not only purchased some liquor for trade, but he actually remembered to bring it with him ashore.
Because he was gonna drink it.
He
Well, I gotta celebrate
probably would have
something.
drank it if he never found anything, at least, because that would have made him sad.
Yep.
All right, so you have drink. and you offer that. And the guy's eyes light up a little bit. He's like, I'll give you an hour.
Probably don't want
Should
to
be-
drink that on an empty stomach.
Give us
You guys
2
gonna-
and we'll get you some food.
Okay, you gonna do that? Up it a little
Sure.
bit?
Yep.
Well, what you got?
Well, describe some of the stuff we have: salt, pork, blah blah blah. Some of these. I mean, we went for a
Biscuits.
whole month. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been at sea
We're a little-
for 3 days about, or 2 and a bit, so you're not going to have much spoiled, really. Most of your fresh provisions are still going to be pretty good, so you can get away with some shit there. So you got fruit and whatnot. So you offer some food for a little bit longer, and the guys behind him kind of agree before he does, you know?
Even better.
It's like, all right, you bring the food, and you have as long as it takes us to eat it.
Who's with us?
I
Mr. Bold
just
or
sort of envisioned
Nope,
Hayden,
Bold is back at the boat.
who?
Hayden sort of sprinkling some of the food with the opium, so they eat it and pass out.
That'd be awesome.
But it's his opium. He's not going to tell
I
anybody
know.
about it.
Yeah. All right. So
if it's
you guys
going
make the
to,
arrangements.
if that's the deal, we can look as long as it takes them to eat the food. Then we make sure it's food that they need to cook and prepare.
Uh,
Or it's really dry freaking biscuits.
Flour.
Like they take a bite and it's like, oh, I gotta drink some water I can't swallow. It's like an MRE cracker.
all right. Well, so you make whatever arrangements. You set out the barbecue on the beach. Everybody queues up.
I'm gonna chat with these dudes, find out what their story is. I don't care about the treasure.
Right.
I
So you're
figure
gonna-
Randall's gonna go rush in there and go, woo!
Randall may not need everybody's help to go in there and scour the place for whatever it is.
Treasure hunting is not Hayden's thing, so he'll stay on the beach mainly to supervise. He'll be security.
Keep guard. You guys bring some canvas over, so you got a shade set up and yada yada.
Yeah, find out what their
Make a
story
nice thing
is.
of it. All right, so basically, you guys bring over some food, get it all set up. They're pleasant enough, rough company, but they're not hostile at this point. And the basics of their story is they're just dudes, ex-maroons, that sort of thing, former slaves, whatnot, that have moved out here to get away from the man on
Damn the man.
the mainland, and they're not doing all that well out here. You can see they're malnourished, and some of them are kind of sick, so you're already jumping into doctor mode. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, they rob people from time to time. They loot ships that wreck, that sort of thing. It's just been kind of slow pickings lately, so
Do we need more crew? No, that's probably a terrible idea. It's, just,
Like,
it's like,
stranger things have happened, I'm sure.
I'm sure, but it's like they just admitted, yeah, we robbed some people. Like, yeah, there goes any, if you can see my little picture, it would be like disapproves, -1.
Okay, so in the meantime, Randall is going to scour the house.
While cackling, possibly.
Is anybody going to go with him?
I need Davino to protect, as bodyguard.
You want him to cover you? All right. Well, finding the fireplace is no big deal at all. It's right there. It's a stone structure, so it still survives.
At least it's still there.
Right.
And there is no fire in it, and doesn't look like there has been. And it's pretty easy after scuffling around some dirt in there. You see the Reaper etched into one of the stones, and there is a hole. And that hole looks like it would just tightly fit that coin. And there's a notch in the coin, and there's that little divot in the hole there that that notch would just neatly fit into.
One-eyed Willie really was here. And I stick the thing in and watch.
And you realize as you let
Glorious
go
hole.
of that coin that you may not get it back. That was a doubloon. That was worth money.
Oh well.
And as you press it into the depression and it drops into the slot behind there, you can hear it tink on something. And this, you would probably describe it as like chains, little small chains of something or other, and creaking. There's definitely some metal bits back there, some mechanical stuff. And something clicks, I guess, for lack of a better word. And
Explodes.
one of the bricks in the overhead part of the chimney part falls out. And with it, there is some kind of what looks like a brass compass thing. It's not a real compass. It's not like the little housing with the water in it and the needle that spins around. It's just like a brass pointer thing, almost like a belt buckle or something, like a one-piece deal. But it has markings on it, and one of them's obviously north, and there are other markings there.
Vika Davino. Luck. I show it to him.
And he shoots you. Surprise!
There's something
And
inevitable betrayal.
now what?
And now, plot twist. In a couple of 100 years, this island is going to be called Isla Sorna, and there's lots of long grass.
It's in the wrong place for Isla Sorna.
I know. That's the
Believe
plot
me.
twist.
Believe me, I looked.
It's the plot twist. The island's gonna move.
So, I'm going to where it came out from. I'll obviously take it, and but I want to look and see if there's anything else up there. Seeing if there's any other
Okay.
thing, markings, that kind of stuff.
All right, give me a search in the box.
I might luck this.
Don't bother. You don't find anything else.
All right.
It's almost disappointing how you don't find anything else. You kind of wanted more information. It feels kind of empty, almost.
All right.
So you have a fake compass. So have you examined the compass?
Right. See, Quentin Morgan's Harvard. It's compass to the treasure. So, I'll kind of like hold the compass like if it was actually functional and kind of move around, see if the needle swings at all.
Trying to experiment and see what it's
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it. You fiddled around with it for a little while, and you're not sure it actually does anything like that. It hasn't come alive or magnetically adjusted itself at all, as far as you can tell.
We have barrels of water. I wonder if I can kind of lay it and float it a little bit underwater so the needle floats above.
Hey, try it.
Put it in a bowl. See if it points anything different than north.
But you didn't find anything else in there.
All right. So what I do is I move this brick back. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I etch an R like my initials.
Uh-huh.
And I put the brick back.
Nice.
And
right.
and I kind of like mess up the area so it doesn't look like I was digging around or whatever.
As you guys are basically emerging from the house, you see further down they're over there having their lunch or whatnot, and you hear from out in the bay, out at the ship, a gunshot, probably a pistol,
Claude just
and everybody
got
looks right
found
over
out.
there at it, and somebody at the ship is signaling, and the signal is that another ship is entering the bay.
Well, Hayden brought his spyglass. He will start scanning the horizon.
Now, you have seen the Dame Blanche plenty of times, and you know what it looks like. That is not La Dame Blanche. In fact, since you made such a specific note of it, you know that that is in fact the Rumjack.
Oh man.
Well, I think
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
might know who was trying to slow us up in a much more not fun, not in a nice way.
And with that, cut to black, roll credits, cue the music.
Ah, good times.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Let's see, what is our shutdown?
Everybody should stop talking, not interrupt.
point.
Danny.
Right. No, okay, so everybody gets one XP for the night.
We're getting
Already
XP now?
spent.
CPs.
Wow, that's awesome.
Character point. God damn it. Bastards. Alright, so I keep forgetting to deal with the stability points, and now I'm making notes, so I know to actually look at this. And the things that will drain your stability are culture shock. That's not going to apply. No drug use. Nobody made any bright checks. I don't think anybody made any self-control fails really in a really disturbed sense.
Fails, no.
No combat. No isolation, no sustained mental exertion, really. So, yeah, I think everybody's clear for this one. There's also the potential, those of you that did lose some before, you've had a couple of days and a bit to recover from that. So, I need to go back and check and make sure. But I think all you need to do is take some time to meditate or whatever, relax, and you can drain that off. And in fact,
Time to relax.
Mama. Mama.
Being on watch can be relaxing. It can also be distracting, though.
I was practicing
so,
my mantra.
Any other bookkeeping to do? Everybody's going to be locked in after today, but I think everybody's got their gear sorted. So, and we've got the plot points when we need those, so that's covered. Questions? Anything?
Nope.
I think I'm set.
Yep. Me too.
As am I. I do believe.
And we have time up until next session to make further tweaks up until start.
Our characters starting next session are fixed.
Should you? Well, I can't.
Yes.
That's. Should it stop now? It should stop now. How does that cutoff work?
Well, I normally
You're the GM.
as soon as I do it, as soon as we start the 4th session, that's when the characters are locked in. That's how I usually do it.
That's how he says he usually does it now.
That's how I've
Why
always
do
done
you
it.
do you have something you thinking about adjusting?
Nope. But that
I
doesn't
think
mean
everybody's mostly sorted at this point. You got enough.
doesn't mean during the
character
weeks
points rolling
something
in.
might come up.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If anybody decides they need to make a last minute thing, let me know and we'll see. But
All right.
yeah, I think everybody's mostly satisfied at this point.
I think I'm going to see if there's a Twitch app that we can install that will allow
Dice
people to
rolling.
roll dice.
That would be nice. I'd be surprised if there weren't. Might be worth looking into. All right, well, if you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord.
I have some heckling.
Fucker. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.